be an indie means we buck a system that doesn't want us. To be a fringe filmmaker means we don't do it for them. We do it for ourselves. To be an outlaw on the fringe means we'll die before we fail. Be an outlaw.
Oh, I guess I should take that down, huh? Or we could just go through the whole show like that. And George is going to answer. George, we're live.
Joe! Hang on, you caught me shuffling papers here.
Again, Johnny Carson?
Yeah, that's my new thing. That's my thing. I gotta put something down here so it's not so noisy, though. It drowns out the microphone when I'm shuffling the papers, you know.
You know, these things take the place of papers now.
Fuck you, Joe. Oh my God, that's been building for 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I had to get it out.
So we took a week off.
We did. Yeah, there was some stuff here at the old Romero compound, which is now a compound under full video surveillance. So I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, so we took some downtime. We had some stuff happen around these parts. And then after that, my beautiful wife's brother passed away. And so, out of respect for a lot of that stuff, we just took some time to ourselves. And I appreciate everybody giving us the distance and the space to kind of process everything that was happening. But here we are. We're back. Romero Pictures, Indie Brigade, with me, your host, George C. Romero, and my ever-present and faithful producer extraordinaire, Joe Ridgely. Joe, I like your hat.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you got some new hats on the way, I think.
Oh, that is awesome. I am looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Got to change it up.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
So what's been going on with you the past 2 weeks? You haven't fucking done shit, huh?
No, not whatsoever.
You just sat around, right?
I did, and day drank. I wish it was that simple. I am one of those poor guys that still have to do that work thing and then come home and listen to George yell at me because I haven't done anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
Oh, new hats. Is there going to be a link to the new hats?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if you like them. In fact, here's something interesting that we're actually about to put up. I just got these samples back. We got some Indie Brigade here. That's upside down. We got some Indie Brigade stylish turtle neck, whatever you call them, face mask things. They're pretty dope. So we'll be getting those up on the internet there pretty soon. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we of course are talking about our merch store that you can find at romeropictures.com/merch. If you like us, if you like what we do, if you enjoy listening to us, joining us on Friday nights, if you learned anything from any of our guests, if you just whatever, if you want to support us, help us keep the lights on, help us keep the servers running, please go to romeropictures.com/merch and get you some. There's a line of merch on there called Scare Tactical, with all of the artwork designed by Ian Steyer, the artist responsible for all of our branding and rebranding and all of that other stuff. Every Scare Tactical purchase, a portion of the sale goes directly toward the Veterans Compound, which is now officially a corporation and about to be officially a 501c3. So we're very excited about that. And all of the Scare Tactical purchases, a portion of those go directly to helping us figure out how to help vets and teach them how to process some of the stuff they've been through the creative arts of filmmaking. So please go and support and help out. If you don't like any of the merch because you have terrible taste, or whatever's going on in your life, feel free to go to buymeacoffee.com/RP Indie Brigade and buy us a cup of coffee. As we all know, I'm a coffee freak. Joe's drinking a different kind of coffee, but I drink actual coffee. So
what are you saying?
Go ahead and buy me a cup of coffee. buymeacoffee.com/RP Indie Brigade.
Huh.
There's been a lot of other cool stuff going on too, right? The Wagner Wiles doing some live shit, which is pretty awesome. If you haven't figured that out or paid attention or joined in, you need to get over to the Wagner Wiles. Basically, the way you can find out about all of this is to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/indie_brigade. go ahead and click the subscribe button over there, or whatever the kids say these days, and you'll get your notifications, and you'll know when we put up new videos for all of our shows. That includes the Wagner Wiles, that includes the Drone Cav. We've got Ian Steyer again, the phenomenal artist responsible for this whole look and feel, with his blog on the RomeroPictures.com site, The Devil's Into Details. Ian and I have been talking this week. He's actually taking his blog in a completely amazing direction right now, so make sure you tune in and check that out. We've got the Nasty Nation with Chuck Nasty. He puts up amazing episodes where they talk about some great shit, so check it all out. We've got the Drone Cav, we've got the Wagner Wiles, and of course, as always, you are watching Romero Pictures Indie Brigade, which is also partnered with our dear friends at Heavy Metal Magazine, because fuck yes, right? What doesn't make sense about heavy metal and Romero Pictures and the Indie Brigade? Everything about it on Earth makes sense. It's like everything in the universe makes sense. So we thank Heavy Metal for digging what we're doing. We thank Heavy Metal for coming on board and being a part of things. Fucking, what's with the fucking finger?
Well, we're missing one on here.
You know, Joe, I'm trying to back off that tonight a little bit, but I'm happy to blame you for some shit. I just got to go get my mug. I don't have any coffee in it, but I'll fucking blame you for shit. Everything's fucking Joe's fault.
So what is missing off of there?
End of the Night isn't. End of the Night still not on there?
It's still not on there.
What the fuck?
Right?
All right. Well, now
so wait a minute. That's not a blame Joe. That's a blame who?
Now I have something to blame Joe for. God damn it. You know why it's your fault? Because you didn't remind me. And now, full circle, it is fucking Joe's fault.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't your lovely wife buy you one of those planners with a real pencil?
Yeah, you know what I wrote in it? Hang on, I gotta write it. Blame Joe.
Yeah.
See that? Blame Joe.
Fuck
you, Joe.
All right. So there's already 35 freaking comments here that I'm not going to be able to catch up with that quickly.
So I want to talk about End of the Night real quick, because I feel like an absolute schmuck since it's not on that graphic, and I didn't talk about it. At the end of the night, after the Indie Brigade, of course, is David Lee Madison, who's a dear friend of ours, and I love his show, and I love that he's here, and he's got a phenomenal show for you tonight. He's got well, everybody knows what's going on. He's got Kane Hodder, he's got Tiffany Shepis, he's got Felissa Rose. That's going to be one hell of a fun episode. So make sure you stick around tonight after the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade for the End of the Night with David Lee Madison. And every Friday night. Wow, we do have a lot of comments, man. Jeez, what up? What's up? What's up? Oh, what's up? Hey, what's up, everybody? Would somebody please message Jack and tell him who's on tonight?
Oh, that's funny.
Libby, thank you.
I haven't even gotten that far yet. Holy crap.
Dino, how you doing? Wheels, brewing up some coffee and joining in. Well done, well done.
David Martin.
We'll be putting links up. Oh, yeah, here's something fun. Sean Smithson of Smithson Creations actually just got the very last limited edition Wings stuff.
Really?
Yeah, well, he got it yesterday, and he put up a post about how he ordered it, and it reminded me, and I keep telling everybody the only reason it's still up there is because I kept forgetting, and that's exactly what happened. Sean ordered some LE Wing stuff and posted about it and told the world, and it reminded me, and now it's all fucking gone till next year. Maybe. If we even bring it back. I don't even know if we will. So
probably not.
You got to know somebody now if you want to get some wings shit.
There you go.
Like every time I check my news feed, the news about you gets bigger and more excited. So happy to see you. Thank you, Dino. I love you, brother. I'm glad you're here tonight, man.
But why the hashtag, Dean? What? I defended you that one.
Joe, he's trying to blame you for all of the news getting bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Right on.
Good. Take your credit. Take it. Go ahead. I'll sit back. I'll wait. We have a great show tonight, don't we?
We do. We absolutely
What else do we need to talk about? There's one more thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about Catch Sitka. You have
Okay.
it? All right. So we've been away a couple of weeks. A good friend of mine, Issam, he has a company up in Sitka, Alaska called Catch Sitka Seafoods. I know that some of you have found him through us. You have ordered some stuff from him, and I've seen your posts about it. What a lot of people might not know, a lot of people here might know, but a lot of people watching later might not realize is that we're actually making the first Indie Brigade feature-length documentary film under the Indie Brigade banner, and it's going to be about Issam and his family and their journey that basically led them to start up this amazing sort of sustainable seafood company in Sitka, Alaska. And we've got a little teaser. We got a little teaser trailer. There's no dialogue. Some of you watching have seen it before, but for anybody new to the Brigade, anybody new watching tonight, and anybody who watches this after the fact, we'd love to go ahead and just show it one more time for you, and throw up his website if we've got it somewhere. But I hope Issam's watching tonight. It's a crazy time difference, so I don't know if he is, but I spoke to him earlier today, and things are going great for him. The season's just about to open up, and there's about to be some amazing shit happening in this man's life. So let's just play that teaser if we can. How cool is that, man?
That is very cool.
It's like a true American hero story. It's fucking amazing. Like, the more I get to know Issam and the more I get to know his story, the more excited I am to tell the story.
And Sean actually signed up.
Yeah, and he's had some seafood he's never had before, I saw. So Issam's about to become the Bezos of fresh seafood, and it's pretty cool. So get on board now, get involved, and you know, it's a beautiful story. I'm super excited to tell it, and also super excited to go up there and shoot it as soon as we're allowed to go do stuff again.
Well, I am super excited because it is 9:15 and it is time for us to pull our first guests of the night up.
Well, why don't you go ahead and announce our first guests?
That's not my job.
I know, but I beat you to it. Ha ha ha.
Okay.
Danny and Scotty.
Bohnen.
What up?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
How's it going, guys?
Oh,
I'm
good,
doing
man.
great.
Thanks for having us. Thanks
Good
for
to
having
be here,
us.
guys.
Thank
Great
you
to be
guys
back.
for coming on, man. It's great. You know, the last time we talked was before we started up the Brigade.
Yeah, that's right. On
know.
our side of things, on our podcast.
Yeah. So now it's time for me to turn the magnifying glass around, you motherfuckers.
Oh yeah,
Might as well.
we've been waiting for it.
How's life?
Oh, it's good, man. With this, tell you what, this shit's crazy right now, but staying busy. You know, got some projects going on, and it's been awesome. Thad, what's up, brother?
Yeah, it's I mean, just staying at our house and trying to get work done while we're at the house. And luckily, we're all online, so it's easy to see everyone and do stuff still. But I miss going outside and seeing people. But it's not that bad.
No, I don't like a lot of people anyway. So
Yeah, see,
it works
me
out.
neither.
Well, let's talk about, first of all, let's give everybody who doesn't know you a little bit of an intro. I like to let you guys do that and kind of let everybody in on who you are, what you do, and why you're here. And then I'd love to just kind of talk about this process, this creative process through these times with you. Everybody, meet Danny and Scotty, two awesome guys, the Blood Brothers.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, we I'll go ahead, Scotty, if you don't mind. We're
Yeah, go for it.
We sort of eked into the indie world with our podcast, the Cult Classic Horror Show. The basis of the podcast, we just do an episode a week, and you guys can check us out at cultclassichorror.com. We review old classic horror movies, and we dig deep behind the scenes. Every now and then we interview, and my dog's in the same room. Every now and then, hey, Steve! Every now and then we'll interview an actor, a director. She's getting them out now. An actor, a director, someone involved, or every now and then we'll interview like a new filmmaker, independent filmmaker. So sort of like you guys do, but just not quite as often. So that's how we got into it. But since then, we've turned our love for film into filmmaking. So we finished our first feature film. What was that, Scotty? Like a year and a half?
Yeah, it'll be coming almost 2 years this coming July show.
Yeah.
So it'll be it's almost 2 years ago.
We finished that project, and you can catch it on Prime now if you want, and a couple other platforms. But then we've
there it is.
Yeah, there she is. She Walks the Woods, a found footage horror film, and we're actually in post production on our first like narrative feature that's hopefully it'll be done this year, but we have to talk to distributors and festivals. We'll see when it's going to be released. Yes, Sin Eater. That is an awesome picture we had custom done for the film. There's a couple of them. Yeah, there's one too. We can expand on that a little more. And then
we don't have an official picture art yet, but there's some teasers there.
So that one stars Bill Moseley in it. And then Scotty and I are recently. Well, I haven't even actually talked about this with anyone. We're working on a project. Us and our friend Carmelo, who's a co-host on the show, is directing and writing a short film as part of an anthology that we're doing that's called like the Coronavirus Stories. It's a buddy of ours thought of it. It's an anthology filmed under these restrictions, about these restrictions, and it's not necessarily a horror. It's sort of a drama. So we have a segment in there that'll be coming out. And then also Scotty and I are in sort of producing and acting in an awesome film, a Western that will have Sam Worthington and Machine Gun Kelly in it, among some others. And so that was supposed to film April 6th. And then all this went down. We were supposed to head up to Montana. We were taking horseback riding lessons and all this.
Yeah.
Now this all went down and it's postponed. So hopefully that comes back soon.
What's the Western? I mean, can you?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So to be honest about that project, Sin Eater, She Walks the Woods, those are like our projects along with our friend Carmelo. And
I know, and I want to talk about that, but you said Western and then you got me all.
Yeah.
Gotta love a good Western, right?
So I have to be honest, those projects are like, we created them, we hired everybody, like we fully produced them and everything. This Western that we're a part of, we're branching out to see how this aspect is. We're just investing in it and then acting in it, and then that's it. So we're just going to show up and do our thing and leave, and that's it. So we don't have much to do with anything else. But it's interesting. It's about this guy, Sam Worthington, who is cursed by like an Indian chief. It takes place in the Western times, and he's cursed to be killed by one of his seed, and he's not a good guy, so he's slept with a ton of hookers, and this whole thing is about his journey trying to track down his illegitimate children to kill all of them. And of course, Machine Gun Kelly happens to be one of them and is like an outlaw. And there's a huge face off. And so, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Awesome. Well, look, I understand that you guys, we're obviously going to talk more about the mechanics of what you do as filmmakers, but literally you said you were working on a Western. I always get giddy because, there's not a lot of Western productions being done right now.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy Jason just tuned in. He's a phenomenally talented composer.
What's up, Jason?
For years, and he and I share a passion for Westerns. So it's really funny that you just brought that up because I've always wanted to make a Western, and I will one day before I die. I will make a fucking Western.
Well, that's great.
Hell yeah, you
love
will.
Westerns. Love
Yeah,
Westerns.
man. So anyway, let's go back now. And let's talk about, first of all, why have you guys always wanted to be filmmakers? Have you always wanted to kind of get into this, or is this like a bug that you guys got after starting up Cult Classic and developing what, coming at it from that side? Was this something that you guys always had in your mind, or is this a new thing?
Scotty, I feel like I'm talking a lot.
I can go. Yeah, I mean, we actually just wanted to be actors to begin with, and we started off in theater and stage and stuff, and the family business. My parents own and operate a dinner theater in Colorado here. So we started the podcast just because we love horror movies and never really wanted to transition that into films or anything. Acting was kind of separate from the podcast, and then we started, we love film too. We love horror movies. So we started taking film acting classes in Denver, and we're like, you know what, let's stop stage acting. Let's see if we can do some film. And the podcast kind of transitioned into us loving film and wanting to do film. And like, you know what, we could kind of use this as kind of a piggyback onto what we really want to do and be actors and have the podcast at the same time.
I think we realized.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I was going to say, I think we realized too that there's so much competition in the world of acting, and we've done okay. We have agents in different markets and everything, but you audition for 2 lines on Better Call Saul or something, and you're up against 55 other people for that one guy that reads 2 lines. And so we just got to thinking, what else could we possibly do to give us a jump? And it's like, well, shit, let's just make our own movies. Like, let's just start trying to do it and see what happens.
Yeah.
I like it. It's and that's exactly the whole outlaw sort of indie attitude, man. I mean, I've been in this business longer than I would care to admit. And
seen it all.
I've come at it from a lot of different directions for a while there. When I was young, I felt like, one of those raptors in Jurassic Park looking for the weak point in the fence.
Oh yeah.
And you figure it out. You figure out that if this is, and that's, if historically, if you look at folks who have made big success in this industry, they have creatively problem solved how to develop the career they wanted. There's the number of stories of people who get off a bus in LA with their suitcase and say, I'm here to be an actor.
Yeah.
And get it, I mean, statistically, it just isn't going to happen. But to make this career happen, to make this dream happen, you've got to figure it out on your own. You've got to fit a lot of square pegs into a lot of round holes. And it's interesting that this is you guys' approach, because you became filmmakers because you want to act, and I think that's really fucking cool. So I'd like to talk about some of the stuff that you've learned along the way. And what, let's start out with this one. How about, so you decide to become filmmakers because you want to follow that path to become actors. What was the thing that you got blindsided by when you decided to make your first film? What was the one thing that you guys set out and you said, you know what, we got this all fucking figured out. We're ready to go. We got it all. It's all here on paper. And then something came out like a freight train and just fucking derailed that. What was it? I know
where to start.
I'll take over some of this, Scott, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, go for it.
In our relationship, I tend to deal with a lot of the technical things and getting things done. And then Scotty's always there as like, to give his opinions and to check our work and to give his insight on everything. And so I think with our first film, She Walks the Woods, that one was so indie. It's a found footage film. We literally grabbed like 10, 15 people. We went up to the mountains. We used all in-camera sound. We didn't use any lighting. It was all in-camera lighting. Yeah, here's us.
There we are on
filming.
set.
We rented like
There's
a Sony A7. We had one of those old camcorders that did night vision, and we just wanted it to feel real. And so we had our director, who was used to doing narrative film, was wanting all kinds of things, like we need a sound guy, we need lighting, we need all this stuff. And we're like, no, this is a found footage film. Like, we don't really need all that. And so the one thing we did do was hire a professional effects team. And so they came out from Atlanta. Exactly. There's Midian right there.
Midian.
Monster makeup
Barker
effects.
quote.
That's Midian Crosby. I know Midian. She was from one of
yeah.
my very, very first ever horror films.
Oh, really?
She mentioned you and thought of you fondly. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely love her. She's phenomenally talented, and she's got one of the best spirits to have on a film set.
That's just true. How long you and Midian have been in this industry for. It's crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we actually didn't have a ton of surprises. I'll tell you the one thing on most of my surprises came with this last production of Sin Eater, which is the first like SAG ultra low budget, narrative film. But for She Walks the Woods, everything was sort of just us up there with the buddies, except for Midian, who came in, but then she quickly became a good friend. And so the one thing that there's a scene in She Walks the Woods where someone, you guys can watch it, gets scalped, and this is supposed to happen on infrared on the camera. Very and it did happen. So we were filming on infrared. We did a take on it, and Midian, Josh is just pumping the blood, and you just can't see it on infrared. I thought it would show up like black or dark gray or something.
Yeah. And
we did like 2 more takes. We went through there was just blood like waving down her face, and it didn't show up on infrared, and we weren't smart enough to have like a normal camera running at the same time and to have that shot to choose from. And so it's such a little thing, but any filmmaker out there that's trying to catch blood on night vision, just not going to work.
We just went back and forth like, why someone didn't even have an iPhone open? Like, what the? Yeah, shoot this again, please. And like, wish we could have, but it's some mistakes.
One other general thing that we found out on She Walks the Woods is your effects days, just like whatever the effects team tells you, just like double that.
Yeah. Well, with regard to what? Are you talking about time? Or are you talking about
time? Yes. Yeah. Time. Sorry. Yeah. Maybe not double, but just tack on, because a lot of people watch the film and they're like, oh, we want to see more just basically B-roll of she walking around. And we're like, well, we did too, and we planned for it. But when we gave all this extra time, and then we still ended up going like 4 hours over to her time and didn't even get to that stuff. So, and most of the time they're happy to stay if you got the money. And we were just so strapped on that film with it. I think the total budget was like 30 to 40,000. And it was just like, we just couldn't spare any more. We thought about redoing the blood to catch it, but it would have been another day and like $3,000 more. Yeah. Like, sorry, we just can't do it.
Sometimes you just gotta turn your back, like, all right, we're done.
Yep. You gotta. There's an expression I have that I tell writers a lot. You'll never call it finished, but you got to call it done.
Yeah.
Same kind of mindset, right? And it's an interesting point you bring up about effects, because it's not even just time. It's time is the ultimate loss. More than I think money, but something always goes wrong. I'll tell you, the first time I ever worked with Midian, I was doing a film called The Screening, and we had everything set up. There was this haunt up in Pennsylvania that we were going to use for a set, because it was like a period haunt, and it was awesome. It was all detailed and everything. Well, the fucking thing burned down like 2 days before the shoot.
Oh no.
And so here comes Midian and the team and a bunch of people, and we just decided to rewrite the opening and shoot in the burned out house, which posed its own set of like fucking safety shit. And but something always goes wrong, whether an armature freezes or whether a pump doesn't work or anything. So effects is something that whenever I have an effects team on a film, I even when I'm directing, I try to default to them as much as possible, and I let them direct the effects.
Sure.
I direct the scene, and they direct the effects, and we work together with the actors to really come up with something to make it work. And then you got to always run, but the problem is a lot of the folks who watch here on the Brigade are in the same boat you guys were in on the first deal there, where there's no money for extra cameras. There's no money for, so you just have to do what you have to do, and problem solve. Which actually is kind of a really cool thing that I would like to talk about now, because you guys have some of the most impressive problem solving brains that I think I've met, with the way that you've approached your whole careers at this point, in the projects you've done and how you've done it, and the way you're kind of just working toward your goal in life with your head down. It's really admirable and respectable to watch, and
thanks.
When it comes to problem solving, how do you guys work together when it comes to sort of potentially catastrophic issues that arise during a production that you're taking on?
I'll tell you that in that first one for She Walks the Woods, it was a lot of collaboration between Scotty and I and Jason Potter, who plays the other male in the movie, but he's also the DP. He was sort of like the credits come up and it's like Jason, it's like editor, DP.
He did like everything. Yeah.
Every composer, sound design, it's like everything. And so I think that was a lot of collaboration. It was none of us feeling like we were having to be in charge. It was like a collaborative effort. And so I feel like on that project, our go-to was like, let's just get everyone's opinion. Let's see what the best way this is going to be. And let's do it that. So I don't think we could have done it without such a good collaboration that we had going. It was a shame. Our good friend and co-host Robert O'Neill, basically him and I wrote that script, and we attempted to fly him out to help shoot with us. And he's good for collaborating too, but he just wasn't able to be there. And so me, Scotty, and Potter, and I say it, the three of us, but we did have two directors who are really great guys, but I don't know if they were quite on the same page as us the whole time. And so it got done, but they had some really good ideas, and actually I should credit them with a couple great ideas, but it all came together. With Sin Eater, and feel free, Scotty, to cut me off if you have to, but with Sin Eater, we had some more money, and this probably isn't like the best way to solve everything, but we were able to just like throw more money at stuff for that one.
Now you guys are talking like filmmakers,
which is a good problem to have. Yeah.
So there were some things that came up on that one, and like I was mentioning in your last question, those were where we hit some walls, and I was like, "Whoa! This is my first time. I didn't know this." And we just luckily we have had some more money on hand, and it just little things. And like, I know a lot of independent filmmakers listen to this, and like, it was the first time we dealt with SAG, and SAG is pretty horrible to deal with, at least at the ultra low budget level. And like they take 10% of your budget and they hold it till like 3 months after you're done filming, so it's like there went $11,000 to $15,000 that we just had to give them, and they just had to hold it. But then you also have to like give that money to payroll to pay the actors. And so you're like sort of doubling up on paying everyone, or the actors anyways, for 3 months, till you get that money back. And so it was like, what? We need to send you what money? And
yeah. We talk about budgeting a lot here on the Brigade, but we've never gotten into dealing with that kind of SAG stuff. And I think you probably just dropped a big truth on the audience tonight. No, it's a good thing.
Yeah, good.
What a lot of people don't realize when you deal with SAG and when you deal with the unions, is that you do have to do those things. When with IATSE, you've got to pay into the pension and welfare. With SAG, you've got to put money like in an escrow. You've got to get complete. Did you guys get a completion bond and stuff? Did you do any of that?
We didn't, but no, I mean, you're right though, George. You got to do. I mean, we did She Walks the Woods on our own for this small budget. All of a sudden, we had to do SAG because, well, first and foremost, our lead actress, who's a good friend of ours and who's amazing, by the way, like she's amazing. She's SAG, and we wanted to use her. And then, of course, we brought in Bill Moseley and a handful of other people, and it's like, there's just no way around it. Like, it has to be SAG if they're going to be in it, because they're SAG actors, So
we learned a lot from She Walks the Woods coming into this, and as far as like standard filmmaking, but there was a lot more on top of it that we needed to do. And like everyone had to sign a paper after they left to make sure it was official, and all these little things that were just like, oh God, I mean, this is what it takes to make a film, and it was a lot.
Once again, we were blessed with a collaborative effort. Once again, Carmelo Chimera, our co-host, wrote that film and directed it, and his writing is amazing. Like, I don't know how to judge very good writing because I just haven't read that many scripts, and you take movies for granted. And we just kept getting person after person. We talked before getting Mosley. We talked to a few other agents of some people. And everyone was just up in arms about how awesome the script was and how great the writing was. And he's got that same feedback on that short we're doing for the coronavirus one. So I think we have a really good team going as far as writer, director, producers, and actors go here. We hope to do more with Carmelo. But not only that, on Sin Eater, the collaborative effort, we had like an actual crew this time. I mean, with She Walks the Woods, we had the DP, but he was also in it, and because it was found footage, we were taking turns holding the camera, and we had our two directors. But with this ultra low budget film, we had our actual DP, we had first and second camera, we had like the sound guy. So you have like 10, 15 people there every day.
And I was like, wait, I did all those things before, and She Walks the Woods. I don't have to do any of those anymore now. Oh,
right.
Cool.
You're like, craft service, I'll be over there.
Yes, exactly.
We definitely appreciate it. Like our camera operator was just amazing on Sin Eater, and he had some insights, and then he had the hookup on. We went from 1 camera to 3 cameras on the last day because we wrecked a car, and he had this whole car rig that he got for super cheap. And so I think the production value that we were able to pack in, as opposed to the budget we spent, was really amazing on that. We still did the indie thing. Our wives were craft services. They brought crock pot meals. We rented a friend's house to use as the shooting location. It was just a lot of, we still did a ton of things. There was no art department. There was no script soup,
So how did that work with some of your SAG actors, right? I'm obviously not asking for dirt or anything. I'm just saying with some of the handcuffs that SAG will put on filmmakers, like I've seen projects where there's contracts with certain actors that you would never be allowed to have your wife bring a meal to the set for them, right? It would have to be somebody. Like, how did that work? Was that okay? I mean, did you have to deal with any of that kind of stuff?
They were really cool about it. I mean, and I actually have been there. Like it has to be a catered, like a professional caterer. When I was on the set of Deputy in New Mexico, but everyone was cool. Like Mosley, and it was SAG actors were really cool with it.
Yeah, it was mainly, Mosley was the only one that we had to worry about. The other SAG actors in the film were actually just like really good friends of ours who happened to be part of the union, and we wanted to use them. So they weren't names or anything like that.
Right.
Mosley, of course, we negotiated a contract, and initially it has some things that we had to come back to his agent and be like, look, I know these are just standard in this contract, but we can't provide like all these things. Like he can't have his own trailer because we don't have any trailers. You know what I mean? He'll have his own room with his own bathroom, on the location where we're at.
And I think he actually did say that was one of the best breakfast burritos that he's ever had. So
boom,
we got him a good one. Yeah.
So I just remember he was the coolest guy to work with. He was so awesome. I picked him up from the airport. Everything was so smooth. He was cool to everyone on set. And the one thing that he was sort of picky about was no smoke. Bill Mosley can't have any smoke. No one, the agent initially said, no one can smoke within a mile of Bill Mosley. And I had told the grip team, I'm like, you guys can smoke outside still. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
It was, and then he actually ended up being okay with, he said he was highly allergic to smoke, but we have one scene where he sort of has one of those Catholic, I don't know what you'd call like decanter that smoke comes out of, and he sort of like swings it around.
Yeah.
He was willing to do that. So we were like, we can try and add digital smoke later. He's like, no, just light it up. We're good. And he was really cool about everything. Hell, even the last take for the day, involved our actress sort of like throwing over this table and running past him and like escaping, quote unquote. And he took like a dive. Like we were like, oh my God, is he okay?
Yeah.
And he just popped up. He's like, I'm good to go. Like we're all good.
He's a hell of a guy. He's a hell of a guy. I'm glad you guys got that experience.
Yeah, really cool guy.
So I guess here's a question for you, and we've got a bunch of people commenting. So I got one more thing that I want to kind of ask you about in terms of advice for members of the brigade. A lot of our members make the smaller found footage type films. They make the super low budget, the friends and family type stuff, right? But obviously a lot of their goals are to do exactly what you guys are living your real life, right? You're like living the life they want to do. They want to jump and cross over from that into the next evolution of their career as filmmakers, creators, and artists. So what, based on the experiences that you've had and that crossover that you've been through, what is the most important thing that you can tell some folks to focus on when trying to make that jump?
Oh, geez.
Right. That's a fucking tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stay focused and determined. And I mean, we've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of hard times. There was times where we did want to quit and we wanted to stop and like, oh man, we're recording another, episode this week for the podcast, or we got to do this. We got to make sure we complete these, memorize these sides and put in this crappy audition, but just keep doing it. Keep auditioning, keep recording the podcast, keep going to the acting workshops, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you just keep going and, love what you do and spread that love towards others, it'll feed from you to them. And, I think it just keep going after it.
I would say, first, for a general bit of advice is just everyone around us always thinks that we're insane. So just
take
risks do that
and be insane.
You're making what? You're spending how much money? And then, I think we can just like get down to the brass tacks, because I'm this way. I always want to know how that film where did the money come from? You know what I mean? I think that's the main point with any kind of filmmaking. Everyone's like, oh, I would make films like that. I don't have any money.
Right.
So, I'm sure a lot of people who make found footage, like, the only answer is, where do I get the money? You know what I mean?
Right. And what would you say to people in terms of, like, say somebody says, okay, I want to go out and I'm tired of making movies for nothing, and I want to go out and raise $100,000, but I don't know where to start.
So I'm not gonna like front or anything. We've been super lucky that Scotty and I have a pretty successful online business where we sell like canvas wall art, like what's behind me, and we've funded our projects basically through that. And not that we have like a ton of cash on hand, but we're able to like take these working capital loans and things like that. They're supposed to be used for business, and we fund our projects, and then they slowly get paid off over time. And then after so long, we have a little bit of money built up, we can do another project,
Got it.
And so we're up to this point, we're like all self-funded. We've had a couple people pitch in here and there, but if there's any advice I can give, it's like, man, if there's a revenue stream like within reach and you can just use that to fund some films, or if that guy that seems to have a little bit of extra money, just talk to him, and money is the hardest part of all of it. And hell, I might regret this, but we're always looking for films too. Like, shoot me a fucking message, and if you got a film that you just need like $20,000 for, and it's like the best thing ever, then there you go. So it's finding that money and then just staying on it, and then sorry, go ahead, George.
No, I was just going to say, look, I think that's a really incredible offer you guys just made. We do the very same thing here, and I think it's important, and I'm sure you guys do this too. There's selection criteria, right? So if somebody sends you something, like, you guys have a bar that you measure against, and so just because you've said, hey, send me something, and if you just need $20,000 like that, it's not like bailout check, right?
Exactly.
You know, like you guys will put it up through the ringer and decide if it's something that's going to be important for your brand. And we do the same thing too, you know, and what we try to do is if somebody submits something and it's not quite there, we try to help them get it there.
Yeah.
To get it to some place where it might be something we could be a part of or want to be part of.
Sure.
So,
I would say though, George, too, that not to leave it at money because that's unattainable for some people. The one thing that probably has recently, and I'm just thinking of this now, has been more valuable to us than even the money, has been sort of the partnerships Scotty and I have now, as far as our own filmmaking with Carmelo and with Rob, because really in Carmelo we've found like. You just seem to find your counterpart. We were people that had some money and wanting to act, but I'm not. I'm a shitty writer. You know, I attempted to write She Walks the Woods with Rob. He did most of the heavy work on that, and it was awesome. And then, but it still was like, it's okay. It needs some more action. And then we met Carmelo, who's like this brilliant writer and has the same get it done attitude. And when we combined, all of a sudden, like fireworks happen. You know, so. If you're out there and you're like the best writer, you just need to find like an actor who's passionate and maybe has access to a little bit of money or I'm assuming if you're a writer, you probably want to be the director too, or maybe there's a director who has a can-do attitude that wants to do it. You know, we really just found that like counterpart. And then all of a sudden we made Sin Eater and it was like a super good experience. And we already have these other plans in the works to make more things that, I don't have to worry about the writing anymore. And so they're coming out nicely.
Seeing there's that too. We have like a great, like solid, close dream team, I guess you could say, that we have like 4 or 5 of us. And but then we have like the big picture is we have cult classic horror and like the horror community that have supported us immensely. Our cult classic horror group, you know, Indie Brigade, Romero Pictures, all of you guys. So it's everyone. We
can't stress enough. She Walks the Woods. We had a very successful Kickstarter campaign that raised like $14,000, and without, I mean, a lot of them are right here. Without Lance Wagner, without Lance Dale, without Aaron Garcia, without Tyan Draco, without David Martin. I mean, all these guys gave and have supported us from day one. So, you know, if you just also become a part of the community, I'm not saying everyone has to have some kind of podcast like we have, but if you just get involved, because all these guys know each other, and you know that if Aaron Garcia went and made a movie, that Lance Wagner and Lance Dale, like it would all just be the same people, you know.
There's a phenomenal sense of community around here, man. And Brigade loves you guys, absolutely. You know,
back at you guys,
you know, and we appreciate that. So, and you guys have a band too.
That's what I was.
We do. I know we're running out of time here, but we do have a band.
And you can actually hear our band.
And I beat him to it.
You can actually hear our band in She Walks the Woods during the drive up to the cabin. You'll hear our band playing in the background of the 4Runner that we're driving up there.
Excellent.
There we are.
Boom. Look at that.
Yeah.
Shit.
You can see my package there. Nice package.
You guys are like actual rock stars. That's
yeah, man. We the band was
things.
The band was something that came before all this. It's sort of a relic. We out of high school at 17, 18 years old, we teamed up with a couple older dudes, and the band was a different name at that time, and we had a 15-passenger van, and we just toured the country for like 3 weeks at a time for 2 years, you know, with like few months gaps in between. And it evolved, and we got like a following. We were on a small label out of Chicago, and then you know, band shit happened, and 2 of the guys moved away, and it all sort of went dead. But then we saw a recent research. I say recent, but about like 3 years ago, we had a small resurgence, and we recorded again with one of the industry's top guys to record with. He does like Cephalic Carnage and Cattle Decapitation and all these death bands that were similar to. And yeah, did a couple runs, did a couple tours, saw Aaron Garcia down in Houston and a couple of these guys.
Yeah.
And gave it sort of a last, like, let's have some more fun. Our wives got really mad at us You know,
Kids at home, like, come on, we gotta live like kids for a little bit longer.
we didn't make it. We didn't really make any money because you never do. But it was a fun time. You know, it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting those miles on the van.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good.
well, listen, you guys are fucking amazing, and I thank you so much for coming with us tonight and being part of the Brigade, man. We absolutely love what you guys do. We're thrilled to have you, and we got you whatever you need from us. We're here, you know, I actually, if you ever need to talk about anything, just hit me up.
Awesome. Thank you,
I
George.
really appreciate it. Appreciate it, George.
Appreciate
for
Right
sure.
back at you, man. And we're honored to be here. So thanks again for having us.
Absolutely, the honor's mine. Have a great night, guys.
Later, guys.
You guys, thanks again. What? Whoa, nobody wants to see that. Damn, George, what did you do?
Nothing. Nothing. That was fucking cool, huh? I fucking love those guys.
Yeah, they're freaking great. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of comments and questions that were coming, there was no way.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we didn't get to those guys. It was just kind of an organic conversation that just kind of snowballed. So hopefully, if there's questions that got unanswered, hopefully those guys will pop in the comments and maybe answer some of them for you. Other than that, I think that was really a lot of fun, Joe. Fuck you, Joe. Wow, what else should we talk about? Is Kyle here yet?
No.
Really?
Wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah. Well, he emailed me. He was in a session today. So he emailed me earlier. Let me just check. And let's see. Typos.
Yeah, while you're doing that, Dave, give me a nod if you can come up for a moment. So, Dave, tell us again who's going to be on your show tonight. Mr. David Lee Madison from...
I'm sorry, I don't even have the lights on. You know, you guys caught me off guard. I'm just sitting here watching George's great show, like everybody else, not prepared to show this goofy-looking mug to everybody. So,
David, it's good to see you again, buddy. I missed you over the last couple weeks.
I missed you too, brother, and I'm sorry that you had to put up with so much horrible stuff. And as you know where to find me if you ever need any
I appreciate
help or love or anything like that.
I appreciate and love you. And
hello, Mr. Greco.
Look, horrible stuff is part of life, right? We deal with it. We move forward. We create. We continue. We move on. We do things. We make stuff, and that's life. You know,
Absolutely.
Everything is beautiful. My wife is the most beautiful woman in the world. The way that she has processed everything that she's been through is just, it's grace defined, to be perfectly honest with you. So it's been terribly rough, and she's
Hi, Libby.
handled it with such grace and beauty. So just one of the million reasons I'm in love with her.
Well, you're a lucky man.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
So Joe, who's going to be on my show tonight? Just a couple of hacks, some nobodies, the lowest on the totem pole.
You mean you're having me and Joe?
Again?
All kidding aside, tonight we're honored to have the cast of Fangoria's Casualty Friday and horror icons, each and every one of them. The great Kane Hodder will be joining us. The great Felissa Rose will be joining us. And the equally great and friend of the show, Tiffany Shepis, will be joining us. And all kinds of tomfoolery and shenanigans will follow.
Yeah, and if everybody recalls the last time Tiffany was on, we all had a blast.
She is unbelievably entertaining. She's funny. She's sweet. She's knowledgeable. And she's all those good things. And I'm jealous of George's beard.
It's getting there, yeah.
I like that.
I got a new set of clippers coming in the mail. Wait till you see the detail.
Is there any chance that you're going to go for the Captain Lou look and put a rubber band right here?
No, I'm going to try to put the letters RPIB in my sideburns, maybe do a little cutout. I don't know. You know,
I think you should do the Captain Lou Albano thing.
I think the
We'll see how
Captain
long
Lou,
it gets. We'll see
the
how
Captain
long-
Lou thing would look epic on you, George.
You think? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm angry enough for that.
Then we could try to get Cyndi Lauper on, and
You
Okay.
just kind of trailed off there in the middle of your sentence, Joe.
Do you want Cyndi Lauper on?
well, no, only if he does the rubber band thing with the Captain
Oh,
Lou.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have an email from Kyle saying that he was going to be here, but he did say that he was in a session all day today. So I don't know if something's going on with that. What do you guys think about maybe opening this up and seeing maybe potentially about having somebody pop on from?
Hell yeah! Who wants to come on and say hi? And
Well, actually, I would like to give it a theme if that's okay.
that's what I was gonna do. Something about it.
Okay, go ahead. You go. Go ahead. Go.
Oh,
What?
ye of little faith.
Go ahead, Joe. Go.
No, I'm done. Go.
No, go ahead. David, what's the theme? Should it be questions about pitching a project, questions about writing a project, questions about what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk to somebody about?
Any one of those things are fine with me. I just hope they realize that whatever I suggest to them, they do the exact opposite.
Well,
Because I listen to filmmakers, man, and everybody does things totally differently than I do.
Yeah, you see, I never listen to the filmmakers, so
Oh, there you go.
that's because there's no one way to skin a cat.
There you go.
You know, there's thousands of ways. So
you know
And
who?
Kat-
If she's paying attention. I would love to have Libby pop on, or Libby and Matt if they're around. Granted, they need their own show with us, but if they're around, that would be an interesting concept. No.
that would be an interesting concept. I'd love to talk to them about their recent experiences with putting their films out. They just put, wasn't it Dead Woman's Holler that just went up on Prime? Or someone?
Yes, it is. Dead Woman's Hollow just went up on. I forget the one of the.
I thought it was Prime.
I don't think so.
Vimeo. I'm trying to remember.
Let's just, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll just plug everybody's projects for the next 20 minutes with all the wrong information.
Oh, it went up on a thing called Pantaflix, I think. Did
And
my
Lance-
mic go off?
Libby. Okay, hold on a second. Libby, give me a second. Hold on. Libby, I am going to send you.
I got it right. I would like Libmatic Films to recognize the fact that George got it right. It was Prime.
Whatever. Happens once in a while. Damn it, George. All right. Libby, I am sending you the link right now. The Indie Brigade loves Libmatic Films. She has my tech guy working on it. That must be the cat.
There
You know,
you go.
that or cat. I don't know. One or the other.
Greco, what's up, brother? I teased our project today on the internet. Richard
Yeah, you did. And we would like to know a little more info about that. But
Yeah, well, you know what? We're going to give more information as soon as there is more information that we want to give.
you know, my name isn't Lance. You can tell me.
I know, but I can't tell you on live air.
Oh.
Hey, David, I'm happy. I can't wait to tell you about it too. Lance, I'll tell you about it soon.
Sweet.
Lance and I have, I think Lance is getting mad at me. I can't tell if he's legitimately mad at me, but I think he is. David, how's your film coming along?
Which one?
The quarantine film.
It's absolutely fantastic, and I have just so much stuff to go through. But from what I compiled so far, it's pretty epic.
It's going to be
And it's
super powerful, man. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's funny because as I'm putting it together, I find my eyes at times welled up. I find myself at times being overly excited for like cheering on humanity. I find every range of emotion you could imagine, and it's just really a wild, wild movie. I can't wait for it to be out. It's a funny thing. I don't know what's a good time to put that film out. I mean, do we put it out while the pandemic is still happening? Do we put it out after the pandemic? It's a weird kind of thing what to do with a movie like that.
That's an interesting issue that I don't think I would have ever thought about unless you just brought it up right now. That's well, I mean, from what I can tell, you've got tons of stuff for it. Can you? I mean, have you ever seen shows on Netflix like what was it, The Staircase? It was like a documentary about that covered 15 or 16 years of this guy's life.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the kind of thing where you could do that? You could roll out updated episodes of it?
No, I kind of want it to be a one-shot feature film documentary. It's just a matter of when that rolls out. You know.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think is more powerful?
I don't know. I mean, when things start to slow down and life starts to return to normal, is the first thing people want to go to the cinema and watch about the horrible thing they just lived through? Or do I wait a year or so to it's kind of old hat and old news and people can kind of revisit what happens? It's a weird it's a weird problem to have, but it's such a great film, and I'm just excited for people to see it ultimately whenever it gets out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it too. Greco says put it out now.
I was thinking about putting it out relatively soon and giving 50% of the proceeds to a COVID charity.
I think I feel like people probably, especially if everything's going to keep getting extended over and over and over, and longer and longer and longer. I feel like there's going to need to be content to remind people why they're going to be okay in quarantine longer. I don't know. I just think it's a great project, man, and I want to see it sooner rather than later.
I would like you to be in it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Let's talk about that tomorrow, actually, because I
blame George.
You can't blame me for that. I actually could show you on the surveillance cameras who you could blame for that.
Me.
Greco, it's perfect time, is relevant and timely. It is.
So I'm curious if Libby and Matt are actually there. Can they hear us? Because we don't see a camera or.
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah. Oh no, we can hear you. We just can't see you.
Yeah.
Did we offend you?
No.
Not yet, at least.
I don't know what's going on with my phone.
Are you sure?
Are you on an iPhone?
We love you guys.
We love you guys too.
You guys too, absolutely.
Yes, it's an iPhone.
Permissions in the iPhone. It's a pain in the.
Is all this conversation live?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not Memorex.
Welcome to Romero Pictures Indie Brigade. So you guys are going to want to hit settings.
We make movies.
BlameJoe does not have a nicer ring. Damn it! I used to like this guy, but
yeah, but he's totally right. It flows, it rolls off the tongue.
Hey, would you guys like to do? I was going to do a little bit of a segment in the beginning of my show where I talk about films that people should see. Do you want to do that?
Hey, let's do that. Yeah, this is fun as hell.
All right. Until Libby and Matt pop up.
Sure.
Hey, Libby and Matt, you may want to exit out all the way and try again. There may be a permission for the camera that may have been missed.
All right, we'll do.
What do you got, David?
There are always, during this pandemic, a lot of people are catching up on films or television series that they haven't seen in the past. And I like to suggest some hidden gems that a lot of people have not seen, but totally worth catching up on, much like Space Cowboys, of course. The first one I want to bring up is a film that features a dear friend of the Indie Brigade and of The End of the Night. Scott Schiaffo is in this movie, and it's Terrifier is a beloved series of, now going to be a series of films, but this is kind of like the original, B horror movie, horrifying clown film. It's a film called Vulgar.
Hold on, let me get you up close.
I don't know if you guys have seen Vulgar.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
long ago,
Mr. O'Halley.
Yes, Brian is the star of Vulgar. It was directed by one of the cats who are on Comic Book Men. I always forget his name. Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, it was directed by Brian Johnson. Stars my dear friend Brian O'Halloran, and of course my equally dear friend Scott Schiaffo. And if you have a chance, it is so unbelievably disturbing, this movie, as far as every aspect of filmmaking. The atmosphere, the performances, everything about it is horrifying. And now Libby and Matt are here. Hi, Libby and Matt.
Perfect.
Hey,
guys.
So sorry.
No, that's okay. I figured it was like just a permission or a setting. Damn iPhones.
How are you guys doing? How have you been? It's been a hot minute.
Good.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
Good. How's quarantine treating you all?
We're staying safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah.
So you guys have recently pushed some content out through Prime. I actually knew that, Joe.
Okay, well, excuse me, George, but let's see. Damn it, wrong light.
Uh-oh. What are you doing?
Son of a bitch.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you got the.
I got the poster in the background, buddy.
Light it
There
up.
you
There
go.
you go.
Oh.
Nice.
So,
Oh.
I
Do you know
love
what I mean? I absolutely adore Libby's film Darkness Waits, but my favorite part of that movie, there's a character named Joe Mason who just steals the entire motion picture. Every frame that he is on in
He
that
has
mo-
such an
in that movie
agenda.
is a symphony of brilliance. I applaud whoever that handsome gentleman was who totally stole your movie.
He's hard to get.
Yeah.
He's not that hard.
it's hard to understand.
It's hard to understand. What is this, English throwing you a curveball?
I heard he once actually upstaged Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen.
Yes, because I slipped on his toupee. Whoa.
You got to have wheat pasta on your set.
There you go.
So
Actually, I was totally obliterated by Scott Schiaffo's performance. So believe me, I'm somewhere in the background.
So I'm curious to know, I got to know from you guys what your experience with self-distributing this film out through Prime has been, why you decided to do it, how has it been working out for you? Is it,
it's just
you're not comfortable being honest about?
Oh, no. Actually, the Prime thing right now is our first film, Dead Woman's Hollow, which was on Prime through our old distributor. And then we've since put it on there through ourselves now. It's only been on there for since Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of early, and we're working on getting Darkness Waits up. We'll have it on there for rent for a little while, and then we'll probably switch it over to Prime at some point. But I don't know. Amazon is, I guess it's good for exposure, but that's probably about it.
Yeah.
those super valuable exposure dollars.
Yeah. At least that's what I feel like. I mean, I'm sure if you much larger budget films that have a big following and stuff can do okay, but
yeah,
this is a movie that we made and finished in 2013. So it's kind of just like, we do have it for rent on some other sites, but that's cool. If people want to support us, that's great.
Well, now let's get back to the fun stuff, the history between all the people on the screen right now, except for me. So I'm the new one to this group, and I'm super proud to know all of you folks, and really, really just happy about everything that's kind of happened since the Brigade started, and everybody here. was part of the Indie Brigade like day one. So
it's funny. Ever since Matt walked into that brothel that I worked at, our eyes met. And from that point forward, we just knew it was going to be a synergy, a love-hate relationship that constantly we built from the early stages to this great monolith you see now.
Yeah.
Was I not supposed to say that, Matt?
Where were
It's
you?
all right. Some light on there.
We met actually David Madison. And like I think
That
it was
would be me.
13.
I think so, yeah.
At my very first film festival, it was a small horror college film festival here in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, and David was actually Brian O'Halloran sat next to us, and then David was on the other side of him, and really nobody showed up to the festival. So we had tons of time to talk and get to know each other. And Conrad Brooks was on the other side of me. Jim Crut was there. He ended up being in our movie. Jeff Leinbach was there. He ended up being in our next movie. So everybody just basically, got to see each other's films, got to hang out. And then we actually crossed paths with you a few more times at a few more festivals that we got into throughout that year. And it was just, he kept being like, are these people following me? And we're like, no, we're showing up to the same things as you.
No, I think it was because you started the spitball fight, Libby, is why we became such dear friends. You hocked an amazing loogie that stuck right in Brian O'Halloran's eyebrow for like an hour and a half. It was perfect.
Well, you guys are talking about a sense of organic community, and I think that is just that everybody at some degree who comes on to the Indie Brigade talks at some point about a sense of community, whether that community is a small circle, or whether that community is a big circle, or a group like the Brigade, or a group like Cult Classic, or whatever. There is a sense of community, and it sounds to me like you guys literally are the epitome of an organically generated community, because you guys all still stay in touch, you all still support each other and love each other, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And there's not a lot of that in this business, especially in the indie world.
Well, all kidding aside, first off, I think both Matt and Libby are tremendously talented filmmakers and storytellers. And you're very welcome. And I have always been very blessed to be associated with some people who helped me along the way in becoming a filmmaker. And I always felt that if in any way I could help filmmakers, either in any way with their projects, either get more talent attached to it, or help them in any aspect of any component of filmmaking, I always felt good about that. I felt good about myself. The only way that any of us get any better at what we want to do is by learning from each other and from growing. And when I saw their work and I met them, how incredibly kind, how incredibly smart they were, and how incredibly passionate they were about their craft, I was immediately attracted to that. And I said, hey, these guys are really talented. And they want to do something important. They want to do something that's lasting. And I said to both of them, hey, if I could help you in any way, any shape ever, please let me know. And that's what people did for me, and that's what I'll continue to do for anybody. Anybody in this business, sadly, is especially the indie film business, which is really bizarre, is sadly have a lot of people who are only in it for themselves and look to stab each other in the back, to climb up an imaginary ladder that nobody really ever hits the top unless you're talented, regardless of how much backstabbing you do. So I always felt that I would rather put my friends and talented people on my shoulders and help lift them to the top. And if they ever get to the top ahead of me, perhaps they will reach down and pull me up with them. That's the way I always felt.
Hey man, that's the whole point of the Brigade. Yep. And the important takeaway from that is that there is something out there in the world that you just referenced that made you feel good about yourself.
And what was that?
These two people on the screen with you.
You definitely showed up. You showed up when I needed you. You brought people that, were a part of the project, and you made connections happen. I remember being scared about asking, Conrad had asked to be in my movie several times, and it was taking so long for us to shoot this movie. We started it in 2015. We tried again in 2016 to get some more done. And then 17's there. You really started helping us. I really kind of started losing confidence, but we really plunged forward trying to get it, just being able to say it's shot and then move on to editing. But I was nervous about getting Conrad. And I remember talking to you, and you were like, actors love to act. And I was like, oh, that's right. And he did. And we had an amazing time, an amazing night, just spending time with him, rolling camera, letting him do what he loved to do. And it was an amazing captured experience. And
Here's
our time together,
absolutely. I mean,
that was another dream come true that you made happen.
you guys glow. You have such a positive energy when you guys work on a project that anybody who's involved is just happy to be there, because just to see people that happy is unbelievable. The truth of the matter is that, and this is a tip for any independent filmmaker, everything that I've got, every person I know I have is that. Every person I know is due to me reaching out to people. I mean, it's not like I have any family that was in the business. What independent filmmakers have to understand about actors, and I love actors. I'm not going to say anything. I would say this to all my actors friends, but actors look at films like they're an enormous party. And just like anybody else in any other line of work or in any other line of life, you want to be invited to the biggest and most exciting parties. So it doesn't hurt if you have a project and you have a specific actor in mind, be it George Clooney or George Doofenshmirtz. Send them a script. If they like the script, if you're talented enough to captivate them with your words, they'll do your film.
That's good advice.
That's the truth. Yeah.
It's very true,
I mean, I had people in projects of mine that I have absolutely a schmuck living on top of a hill in Pennsylvania should not have the people who've worked with me on projects so willing and available to work with me on things. It's not because I've made movies that have made unbelievable bank. It's because I'm sincere. It's because I'm honest, and because it shows in my work, and because I take care of everybody equally.
It shows in your life too, David.
What?
It shows in your life too.
Oh,
just knowing you as a person and also a friend. Like, I am very guarded. I will keep a very small circle. Just knowing you, I know you have always been a great friend to us. So.
Oh, thank you.
David's a great guy and a dear friend, and I'm proud to call him brother, and I'm proud he's part of the Brigade.
Oh,
so I'm so proud that you guys are too, and just to get to know you since we met when we started with the Brigade has been a real pleasure and an honor. So
thanks, man.
I thank you for your continued support and being part of everything, and keep kicking ass, and thanks for popping on.
The only problem I have is with Matt, because Matt just never shuts up. The guy doesn't let you get a word in edgewise.
I try to let him.
Hey, if I could just do everything through a camera, then I'd be set, like where you wouldn't have to see me, you just see what I saw.
It's all the mushrooms in his diet.
And by the way, this lovely couple over here were amazing contributors to my quarantined film. So thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Unlike the two bozos above us who totally blew me off.
I didn't blow you off. I have surveillance tapes to prove it. In fact, I've been honestly thinking about just cutting some surveillance footage together for you.
Well, there you go. Just think,
Hi, Lance.
So.
You probably had the best footage that would have made the movie shoot into the top 10.
Well, I'll I know I missed the deadline, but I'll figure it out. So, Guys, thank you for coming on tonight.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
We're gonna have to do it
Thanks
again.
for always supporting us, and thanks for doing the Veterans Compound, because I think you're going to do amazing work, and
Thank you very much.
I
for
can't
that.
wait to see the projects that you bring together with it.
Thank
Much
you.
love,
I hope we
guys.
have one all together too.
Actually about to make some pretty big announcements on that in the next, I think, 2 months. So stay tuned.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yep,
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks,
Thanks
Joe.
for supporting us with the poster too.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for sending it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to more. See ya. Love those guys. Love those guys.
They're unbelievable talent. Their energy, they've got like the most even keel, peaceful energy. They're just good people and good artists and good creatives. So
Kind of makes you wonder why they like me.
Well, that's what I was going to bring it up, but then I thought it was going to, you're going to bust on my English again or something.
it's exactly why I made the comment about you, David. You're too hard on yourself, man. I'm telling you right here. You're a phenomenal guy, man. I am super proud to call you friend and brother, and I think that what you have brought to the Brigade, which started with your support in the beginning, has been phenomenal and amazing. And I'm so proud that you know that you're my friend and brother, man. You know, I like you way better than Joe.
I'm not sure that's saying much, but thank you.
Things that make okay.
This is a fun night.
It is a fun night. I got a little screwy, but great recovery. And
I apologize for our second guest not being able to make it tonight. You know, but this is the world of indie, right? I mean, he's in a session. There's nothing you can do about it, and that's that. So
but we had a phenomenal second half of the show, so it doesn't
back
matter.
around to be on another time. And this is what we do. This is what you do as an indie. This is what you do in the motherfucking indie brigade. You roll with the punches and you adapt and you overcome. And we had a great fun show tonight. And David, thank you for coming on and joining us.
Oh, absolutely. My eyes almost welled up of all that nice stuff I was saying.
Yeah, no, that was your rice pudding allergy, right?
I'm turning into a sap in my old age.
I hear that happens.
Hey, before you kick me off, can I at least promote my show that starts in like 40 minutes?
Please do. I'm not kicking you off. I'm just
Okay.
saying we're going to end this one. So,
Well, after this lovely train wreck, the next lovely train wreck starts at 11 p.m. And on that lovely train wreck, we'll have Tiffany Shepis, Kane Hodder. I sound like I was from Boston. Kane Hodder. And who's the other one? Felissa Rose will be joining us. See, that's what happens. It's incredibly hot in Northeast Pennsylvania. Last show, it was snowing profusely, and tonight it's like 88 degrees, and I'm losing my flipping mind.
It's okay, Mr. Kennedy.
yeah, it's not as balls here in Kentucky too. I'm kind of sweating here in the old office, but it sucks. It's going to cool off again, though. We've got another winter coming.
It's not how that works, isn't it? They show up every like September.
Well, is there anything else we want to blame Joe for real quick? I mean,
No.
I had hot dogs for dinner with those hot dog onions on it. You know, those red onions.
So you got agita?
And ever since I ate them, I have these like weird hot dog burps. And every time I get that weird regurgitated onion hot dog burp, for some reason, I just feel like blaming Joe. Well, thank you, Joe.
but see, aren't you happy that you finally have something other than the fact that you made the conscious decision to eat that, to blame for the after effects?
There you go. You know what? No, Joe won't tell anybody this, but last night, Joe and I had a very, very long phone call. And at the end, Joe said, you know, Dave, tomorrow, I heard it's supposed to be nice where you live, and you should go out and barbecue some hot dogs. And I said, you know, Joe, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe I should. And he goes, and if you do have those hot dogs, Dave, you know, those hot dog onions work really well with them. And I said, Joe, you know, no. He's like, I don't want to hear it anymore, Dave. Hot dog onions on those hot dogs would be killer. And that's the mistake I made, was listening to Joe.
Yep. I get it. I've been there. You know, he pushes those hot dog onions on me for everything, from food to emotions to
He told you to put it on your ice cream once.
the other day I was walking around with hot dog onions in my boxers, and it was fucking Joe's fault.
No, wait a minute. That's a missed opportunity.
And I also promised that when you guys come back for the second part of our lovely evening, I'll actually turn the lights on.
That would be nice. That would be lovely. I like that background you have, and I like to see it. So
there you go. I was sitting here watching your show like I always do, so I was kind of caught off guard.
For Jaws the Revenge, really? Wow.
Yeah, we could do that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. We should put a thing on the. We
It's-
should put a thing up where we just blame Joe for all the shit movies.
Ghoulies 2.
No, Troll 2.
Is that the one everybody makes fun of, or
Yes.
Ghoulies 2? Oh, it's Troll?
No, Troll.
I didn't even know there was a Troll 1, so I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the apocalypse, Lance. That's obvious.
So, Mr. Ridgely, would you like to take the next 34 minutes off?
I would love to take the next 34 minutes off, except I don't have anything prepped yet. I can kick you guys out. I could put up a thing and then, yeah.
I think we should end this, and I think we should put up the house lights and let Joe go, make himself a drink, relax for a minute. And,
Mr. Romero, I want to formally invite you to join me on the end of the night tonight, if you're available.
Sure, of course I am. I will take off the next 34 minutes as well, and probably smoke cigarettes and stuff like that.
Well, thank you, George, for letting me be on prime time for once. It's very nice of you.
Oh, come on, David. I love you.
I'll see everybody at the top of the hour.
Sounds good, David. See you in a minute.
Boom. Can you
feel really well?
Do what? Is my mic not working? Hello. Can you hear me?
What? Are you talking? You're muted.
I actually looked down too. Thanks. I had a Samantha moment. She's like, well, if it's blinking, it's on, right? Oh. Well played, sir. Well played.
Yes. Joe, I love you. Thank you for all that you do for me, for this show, for the entire Indie Brigade. And I love you, man.
I love you too. And I love everybody in the brigade. And well, yeah, I'm not even touching those comments right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to close us out. I am going to do the exit thing, and then I'll put up some house lights in a couple of minutes once I figure that out, because I thought we were going to run way longer.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, listen, everybody, thank you for all that you guys do. Thank you for being a part of everything. Thank you for your love and your support, and thank you for being a part of the Indie Brigade. And as always, fuck off till next time. To be an indie means we buck a system that doesn't want us. To be a fringe filmmaker means we don't do it for them. We do it for ourselves. To be an outlaw on the fringe means we'll die before we fail. Be an outlaw. To be an indie means we buck a system that doesn't want us. To be a fringe filmmaker means we don't do it for them. We do it for ourselves. To be an outlaw on the fringe means we'll die before we fail. Be an outlaw.
murder was left of me, scattered to pieces into the wind. Blood of my soul turned to rust, staining the empty halls within. Flesh ruptured with the stench of rot. Maggots churn in the eyes of the dead. And this that twists deep inside of me is a bitter root.
Raycon One is live.
And be careful what you ask for. You may get it.
Dude, he came out with the voice.
Shut up.
It wasn't up to editors or directors or studio heads or this and that how it was going to turn out.
Well, you don't look real friendly, I must say.
I actually had the opportunity to meet Rod Serling.
Hello, gentlemen.
You're a real stand-up guy and you got a really awesome thing going.
He can suck it. Thank you guys for doing this. What a cool idea.
It's relentlessly gorgeous here. It's Los Angeles.
No, I knew what I should have done.
Living life, sir. Living life here in the apocalypse here of 2020.
Can you do some of your dance moves?
I'm supposed to go back and shoot another 4 episodes in May, June.
He's not even paying attention.
It's your intuition. It's not a sixth sense. It's a first sense.
What you guys are doing right now is really going to resonate with people.
I am having a blast.
People are going to get tired of us, I think.
One of them had a nose. One of them had it rotted off. Kevin was putting together this Crypt Keeper. They didn't give him much budget to start with because they didn't have a lot of money. He was putting them together with parts from his shop. A lot of people don't know this, but these eyeballs were some spare Chucky eyes that Kevin had in the studio, and he had all those little airplane motors called servos, to make the forehead move and the mouth move. And he had a little boom box with a little microphone, and I'm sitting there going, "Be careful."
Hello, everybody. How are you, Mr. Ridgely?
I am excellent. How are you?
Long time no see.
Right. I look forward to these times where I can let my hair down and be me. No,
Just let the breeze run through it.
Hold on. Oh, no, it's not going to work. Never mind. Anyway, how
What's
are
the
you?
matter? I said, what's the matter?
Oh, nothing. I actually had a fan here that I was going to try to be sarcastic. And
You're going to do the Fabio thing?
I was. And it totally backfired on me. So let's just...
Well, first off, I want to say hello to our wonderful Romero Pictures Indie Brigade family, like Lance and Damon and Sean and Jack and Terry and everybody. Everybody, I hope, is well. I hope you're... Hi, Dustin. Hi, Lance. I hope you're all enjoying your Friday night. I hope you're all... I'm hot and distracted tonight, Joe.
Is it me?
So, of course, once you let your hair down, it's almost impossible for me to keep my emotions in check. No. All kidding aside, I'm just a little fried tonight. I don't know why. How do I look? Do I look okay? Do I look like I'm unhealthy?
I don't know. You've been working that project, and is it affecting you?
Maybe I'm catching COVID by doing a movie about COVID. That would be an interesting story.
Let me know if you want to play that.
Well, there you go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the end of the night. We're going to have an amazing show tonight, featuring some amazing horror icons and just some wonderful people overall. But first, I like to just do a couple of my silly shenanigans first to amuse you. Thank you, Sean. I hope you and your family are doing well, too. Thanks, Dustin. I want to start off our show, of course. Is George around? Is he joining us? Mr. Romero.
Oh, you're muted. Can't hear you. That wasn't on me.
It's always on you. Boom. How's it going?
Hello, Mr. Romero. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Mr. Madison. How are you? It's been a long time.
Like 25 minutes now.
I know. I mean, your daughter must be all grown by now.
It's like an eternity.
She already graduated, you see?
Sure. Harvard, my friend, Harvard.
Sorry. I knew it was a prestigious school.
Please don't downgrade her to UCLA.
Okay. My apologies.
Absolutely. Well, as you guys know, I always start my show with some kind of silly shenanigan. And I actually have some movies I want you guys to check out while you're quarantined. And I also have a really cool antiquity that is film related this time. Which would you guys like me to start with?
Whatever Joe wants, I want the other one.
The antiquity. Because I like Antiques Roadshow.
I do too.
Okay, so start off with the antiquity? All right. Sure. There's a little bit of a story behind this antiquity.
Back in the full screen on you?
Sure.
All right.
Back in the early 90s, my brother Bob and I worked for the late, great Roddy McDowall. Hello, Elena. The late, great Roddy McDowall, who many of you know from Planet of the Apes, and from, of course, the great film Fright Night. And we worked with him when he was on tour. He was touring a book of photographs. Throughout his entire life, he photographed all the famous people he knew and all the wonderful parties he went to. And it's a really, really awesome book. So if you ever have a chance to look at Roddy McDowell's book of photographs, check it out. But back in the day when I was working with Roddy on his book, he was very kind. He knew that I was an enormous Fright Night fan. I'm probably one of the biggest Fright Night fans there are. And Roddy was kind enough to give me his actual working script of Fright Night. But oddly enough, after Roddy McDowell, it actually has Roddy's working notes in it. But after Roddy McDowell had passed away, I never got Roddy to sign his original script of Fright Night. Oddly enough, I got my dear friend Stephen Jeffries, who played Evil Ed in Fright Night, and who played Stark in my film Mr. Hush, to sign it. So it's actually one of my most prized possessions. It's Roddy McDowell's working script for his immortal role as Peter Vincent in Fright Night, and it is hand-signed by none other than Evil Ed himself, Stephen Jeffries.
Boom.
That's pretty cool.
Cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys are big Fright Night fans, but I just thought it was like one of the greatest horror movies of all time, if not of the 80s.
Oh no, I agree. As a teenager, or I'm trying to think how old I was when I first saw it. I was probably 12-ish, and yeah, it had everything.
It literally came out on my 15th birthday, August 2nd, 1985. And my brother Bob took me to go see it, and the rest, of course, is history. Now, let's jump to films that you should check out while under quarantine. What did that say? Was somebody making fun? Somebody making fun of your hair, Joe?
Yes.
What's up with that, Lance?
Right?
Lance is mad because he wants to know some details about things I've been teasing. And I'm not telling him. But what he needs to understand is watching him, really squirm about it is part of my motivation for not just spilling all the details in the first place. And that's a huge thing. He deserves all the credit for that because it's fun.
And it wouldn't be a tease if you told him.
That's right.
Well, I happen to keep poking the bear going. I know.
Yeah.
And on films that you guys should check out while under quarantine, one of them actually stars one of our guests tonight, the lovely Tiffany Shepis. This is a movie that I just thought was outstanding for a small B movie. I was talking it a lot with Tiff when she did our show last. New Terminal Hotel, starring Tiffany Shepis and Stephen Jeffries and Ezra, I think his name was Buzzington or something. And Corey Haim is in this movie. If you get a chance, check out New Terminal Hotel. Now, if you're going for something that's more along the lines of a historic cult classic, if you haven't seen this, and if you're not a David Lynch fan, you shouldn't even bother working in independent films. Check out Blue Velvet.
Oh, man.
With Kyle MacLachlan and Isabella Rossellini. Probably one of David Lynch's finest works. Just a great motion picture. Check out Blue Velvet while you're in quarantine. If you don't like it, of course, blame Joe.
Oh, you're going to get Lance all worked up now because he just bought a portrait of him.
Of who, Kyle MacLachlan?
No,
shirtless.
Oh, David Lynch. Well, I'm talking about Blue Velvet. Why wouldn't I think Kyle MacLachlan? He's the star of the damn thing.
Right.
One more
Man,
movie.
What a phenomenal movie that was. I remember seeing that. I was young when I saw that movie.
There's something
younger than I should have been.
Yeah, and there's something so a film that drips with atmosphere and is so unbelievably creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you everything you need to know about being an indie filmmaker or being a genre filmmaker or noir filmmaker. So check out Blue Velvet. And this actually is a film, I think, that was from England. It came out maybe about 15 years ago. I don't think it has much love in the horror community, but it's called The Descent. Did either one of you guys see The Descent?
Yeah, of course. It's great film. I enjoyed it.
Yes, it's about spelunking, which actually almost sounds dirty, like a porn movie, which is a cave diving, and they go down in a cave, and there's hideous monsters down there. Just a great film.
I think Cole Hauser was in that, right?
I'm not sure.
Was
Hold
Cole
on a
Hauser
second.
in that?
I don't think so.
We got to go over some comments real fast because everybody's the whole Lynch thing. Cult Classic Horrors joining us. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
And Lance is saying that David Lynch
is the
goat. We are binging Twin Peaks right now, actually.
See, do I not have my hand on the pulse of the horror community?
You absolutely do.
You do.
Sorry, that was just from earlier that we're just now getting around to.
Yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. What? We're drinking beer now?
No, Pabst Blue Ribbon was the drink of choice of Kyle MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan's character in Blue Velvet.
Yep.
And maybe perhaps Dennis Hopper's. I'm not sure. Libby will have to enlighten us a little bit.
Hopper
further.
with that ether mask, though.
Oh man, when he took those deep inhalations.
He took that character to levels that I don't think anybody else could have.
That was some scary, scary, scary malarkey.
I think I'm gonna have to watch Blue Velvet later tonight.
That would be a good choice.
And you brought up the movie with Tiffany in it. You mentioned Ezra. I worked with Ezra once, and he was a pleasure to work with.
Has Ezra left this plane of existence, or is he still around?
No, he's still around.
No, somebody from that film passed away. I don't remember who.
No, Ezra's great. I love Ezra. He was a consummate professional, and he was not afraid to try all kinds of different ends of the spectrum as an actor. So, and I like doing that a lot of times when I went through this kind of like improv filmmaking phase where I would just kind of make stuff with just an outline, and it was a lot of fun. And he was a great guy to do that with. So.
Hey guys, I hate to tell you, but I'm looking at the private chat, and all our guests are in the lobby right now, and Ezra is alive.
No. I didn't say Ezra. There's somebody in that movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What the hell do I know? You know what? I'm just paid to be good looking. That's the way I look at it.
The one
that's why you get the
Corey, by the way, is what I'm being told. Corey.
Yeah, I know Corey passed away. Thank you. I'm sure that's Tiff saying that. It couldn't be.
Yeah, she also said we should fire you.
No, that's very kind of her. It's very kind of her.
Are you referring to him or me?
Huh? No, Dave. She said that Tiffany Shepis said we should fire Dave. I think.
Oh my God, she
wants a
did.
time slot.
She's trying to. Dave's getting hydrated right now, so.
Okay.
All right.
Without further ado, all three of our lovely and talented guests in our green room.
God, he's such a ball buster. He wants me to make sure everybody's here. 1, 2, yeah, they're here.
Okay. Without further ado, our first of our three guests is a lovely actress, queen of almost all independent horror cinema, and a friend of the Indie Brigade and the End of the Night, Miss Tiffany Shepis.
Hey!
Hello, Miss Shepis.
God, I feel like I haven't seen you guys in years, but it was just like a week ago. Damn. And yes, I really want the spot of your job because Ezra Buzzington is very much alive.
No, who am I thinking of? Isn't
He's
there
doing
somebody?
great.
Isn't there another character actor in that movie who's passed away?
No, everyone's alive.
Okay.
I mean, one person passed away, but we've already talked
All right.
about him. You suck. Dave Madison, you suck.
Wow. Man, she just came out guns blazing straight after you, Dave.
I have that effect on beautiful women.
Although I am very, very thankful that you talked about the movie.
Ezra's great. I loved working with Ezra.
Yep.
He was so much
the
fun.
best.
All
He's
right,
he's like not just a character. Well, anyway, get your other guests.
All right, before we go any further with our hijinks and shenanigans, our second guest joining us tonight is a lovely and talented actress, a horror icon, Miss Felissa Rose.
Woo!
Hello, Miss Rose. Thank you for joining us.
Hey there.
Felissa.
Hello.
Hello. Felissa.
No, it's the curse of the iPhone.
Can you hear us?
Felissa. Hello?
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Oh, good.
Hi.
I can hear Tiffany, but
Ah,
that could
You
be a
can't?
good thing. She might not want to hear me.
Don't worry. I have a pen and paper. I'll write it down.
Well,
And
that
of
looks like a
course-
seating chart. That looks like an organizational chart. What is
I know,
that? That
is
looks
she trying
important.
to organize?
It's scene numbers for our little short film we're doing.
and
Yeah.
what I may need to do is drop her out completely, and she may need to be added after everybody comes in.
Okay.
I can hear you. So do you want to?
Yeah, if you could drop out completely, and then we could bring Kane on, and then I'll bring you up again.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. This is like a known iPhone or iProduct glitch. I do apologize.
No worries. And of course, our next guest is a living legend, a horror of icon.
Wow.
Yes, a horror of icons.
Listen, we can't all
You
be
got it
English
right.
professors like you, Miss Shepis.
Is that the name for like a group of icons, like a
Yes.
gaggle of geese, a horror of icons?
That's actually my Yoda himself told me that I should speak that way. An icon of horror, Mr. Kane Hodder. Hello, Mr.
I gotta
Hodder.
wake him up first. Kane, wake up.
Right. Anytime Shepis is talking, it puts me right to sleep. I'm sorry. I know,
Listen.
Tiffany, you were hoping I was actually dead, but no such luck yet.
No such luck. There's always hope for what, part 9, 10? Any day now, right? Any day now.
Oh, yes. Well, you never know.
I'm happy to see your beautiful face.
How are you, Kane?
I'm good. I've got my Jack and diet, by the way. So
salute.
Nobody
Very
else is
responsible.
drinking? Nobody else is drinking
Just a
alcohol?
big old giant glass of vodka.
Oh, okay.
Slurping. I have coffee and hand sanitizer that I'm drinking.
I have one question. Is there a person from the Halloween films on this tonight?
No.
So why is there a
It's-
prominently displayed Halloween poster in Madison's room and no Friday the 13th or Sleepaway Camp or anything like that?
Damn. That's fucking cold. Shit.
But Kane, look, there is a Victor Crowley behind me.
Oh, nice. See, someone supports us.
It's just me. I just put them up for this, though.
I'm sure. You borrowed them.
All right. George, just take over the show for a minute, and everybody, please disregard the fact that I'm in my pajama pants.
Whoa,
Where are you going?
What?
Change
We got another guest to bring up.
Well, I wanted to show Kane how much I truly adore him.
Oh, all right. That's
All
fine.
right. And of course, who the young lady who graced us with her venerable presence, her beauty, her sweet charm.
I'm already here.
No, I was talking about Felissa. I said charm, not harm. Her lovely charm, Felissa Rose. Yeah, sorry. It's so
Felissa.
Hey,
Hi, guys. I
Did you
am
say
drinking
Felissa?
with you, Kane. Okay.
What?
Salute, cheers. Thanks
What
for
do
having
you
me.
have? What is it? Wine?
What is it?
You have to guess. Yes, it's wine. It's red
Ooh,
wine.
nice.
Usually, I get violent with the red wine. I usually drink white, so good luck tonight.
I usually
Thank God it's only an hour.
no, not even.
Not even.
Not
I-
even.
I usually end up in jail when I drink Jack Daniels. So
Oh,
Well, you know,
salute.
there's nobody there that's
fuck
going to
everybody tonight.
Yeah, nobody's out to arrest you.
I have not been to jail in weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
In a half hour.
Months,
Quarantine's-
I think, actually. Yeah.
The quarantine's been a nice break from jail.
So fuck you, Joe.
Oh.
I don't know why, but just seems
Wow.
You
No.
know I am going to use that in the plug, Kane, right?
Oh yeah.
This is the We Hate Dave show, not Hate Joe.
Right?
We blame Joe.
Dave,
What?
I support you. I'm here.
But you know what? That's how Kane Hodder blames people.
Listen, you can't be. No, you
How
gotta.
long have you?
Felissa, no.
Felissa and Tiffany, how long have you known Madison? Long time?
We just met.
I don't know, like
I've known him a
maybe like
long time.
45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Maybe
How long we
50
known each
minutes.
other, Dave?
Long
Long time.
146 years, oddly enough.
No, but Dave, didn't we talk about this recently? Haven't we known each other like 16 years or something like that?
Yes, it's been around 16 or so. The young lady, the beautiful Felissa, is the only person on the screen I am only just meeting.
Oh,
He's
well,
the only
thanks for
virgin.
having me.
Felissa,
You know, we
the
have
only virgin.
nicknames in this group. Did you know that Casualty Friday has nicknames? We're the hugger, the slugger, and the sexy motherfucker. So do you know
Well,
Yes,
who's
if
who?
you try to pick who's who.
We
Yeah.
actually have nicknames on this show. We're Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Pretty much.
There you
I
go.
know I'm the hugger, so what do you? Who's the sexy motherfucker?
It's you, baby.
No, I'm the hugger.
No, I'm the hugger.
No,
Don't steal that.
we've already like I was thinking about this the other day, and it's like we are siblings. I am definitely the oldest because I always have to take care of everybody and get us there on time. Felissa's the baby because everyone loves her and she gets whatever she wants. And you, Kane, are the fucking middle child. You are the one that gets in trouble.
The one that's
Like-
not loved as much,
Not loved as much.
not given as much attention.
You disobey all
Underappreciated.
rules. You have no regard for
beautiful.
any boundaries.
No boundaries.
So let me ask you guys.
Just trying to make his
Let
way.
me ask you guys something about the wonderful show Casualty Friday. When are you guys airing currently? Are you guys starting up? Are you in the middle of shows right now?
Well, our newest season. Are we allowed to talk about a new season?
Who the fuck is typing, first of all?
Yeah, what is that?
It's
Yeah,
fucking typing. Somebody is typing. George.
Everybody show their hands.
There's somebody's Snapchat.
God, it's so loud.
It's the weird hot dog onions I had for dinner. Pardon.
It's not any of mine, right? Is it this? No.
No, somebody's typing.
No.
No one's typing.
No.
I know, but
Is it you? It's you. Put your hands up. Oh, shit.
I'm doing it with my, Yet
That's
another
the-
talent.
Kane is the original Hunt and Pecker.
Turn your
I don't know
phone
what
the
that
other way,
sounded. That's
Felissa.
annoying.
Felissa, turn your phone to the side.
She's frozen.
Oh,
Frozen?
Is it me?
No, she's
I
not.
just have
No.
to hang up. I don't
Are you frozen?
think it is.
So Tiff, tell us about the show.
yes.
Okay, so Casualty Friday. I whatever. I think we're allowed to talk that we are going to be making more. We right now are airing the YouTube versions of our show. So that's really annoying. Do you guys all hear that?
Yep.
Hold on.
Ooh.
No.
Oh, it's still going.
It actually sounds like somebody's percolating coffee.
Yeah, that's a strange new one. That's a strange
Ooh, it
new.
sounds better now.
Yeah,
Oh, it's gone.
it's gone.
Oh, no, it's coming
Oh.
back.
No, it's back.
There it is.
Somebody's connection with their earbuds probably. If it's not tight all the way.
We'll find out and we'll still do it.
It's somebody on a keyboard, though.
All right, we're
Well,
all professionals here. Let's just make believe it's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Like many of my movies. Tiffany, go ahead.
So right now, currently, I believe the Adam Green episode of our show is you can watch it on YouTube, which is really cool because we'll do our podcast and then they also record it so you can watch it later on and see all of the glorious faces we all make at each other. Lisa, I think you loved the Adam Green episode a lot. Like people really dug it, yeah? Felissa's
Yeah.
gone.
Oh, so it's somehow Felissa.
Does she have earphones on?
Today we had Adam on. No.
Felissa, by any chance, would you have some earphones you could plug into your phone? Nope.
I guess not.
God.
Nope. Okay. Maybe he's okay.
You know?
Yeah. How's that? Better?
Scared Adam Green.
Tell us about the Adam Green episode. No,
It's definitely. We need to get her to get some. Can you get some earbuds?
When she goes away, it stops.
Right. That's what I'm saying. She needs to get some earbuds. Where did he go?
I just want to put some light on. Jesus.
Well,
everyone's quit right now. This is the Casualty Friday episode.
Cut.
This literally is turning into a Casualty Friday.
Melissa, put your earphones in.
What is
that? And apparently turn the air conditioning on.
What is that?
Okay, and I'll call back with my earphones.
Now George has
put your earbuds
disappeared.
in.
George didn't disappear.
I just felt like
I just saw a little George symbol for a moment.
Yeah, you know,
Oh, good.
everybody's
We're
quitting.
on.
So if everybody's quitting, I'm out of here.
Wow.
Kane, so you tell us about our Adam Green episode. Was pretty fun. It was a crossover episode. That was kind of cool.
I have enjoyed every guest we've had on the show, first of all. But the Adam Green one was a lot of fun. We have how many episodes in the third season?
In the third season, so far, 5.
Right.
So, but second season, so far now, like right now, a listener or a viewer on YouTube can go and listen to 16 episodes.
Right. I know none of the
cool.
third season has aired yet, but I couldn't remember how many we had done, if it was 4 or 5. And we're hoping to do another one while quarantined, right?
Yeah, that's the plan, is to do some quarantine, like finish out the season quarantined, and even bring guests on, sort of like you guys do. And so that's the plan, kind of set up in the next week or two to do that. And we kind of think we'll have a little bit more freedom with some really great guests, because it's not like we have to get anybody to a studio, which is pretty awesome. But we had some awesome guests, like friends of ours, which is always fun, like having Bill Moseley on. And he told us stories that we've all known Bill, 25 years, and stories that none of us knew. And we're like, that's kind of awesome.
And I've said this before, doing Casualty Friday makes me tell stories that I've never told before. And I'm not even sure why that happens, but something will come to mind while we're together doing the show, and I'll tell a story that nobody's ever heard. And that's pretty rare, because I've done so many interviews in the last 32 years that I've talked about everything pretty much. But somehow on the show, I'll end up talking about something that I've never discussed before. And I think that's really kind of a cool thing. And speaking of Moseley, I don't know if you've been seeing on Twitter, every once in a while he posts a short safety video that he shot of me when we were in the junkyard on Old 37.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
And it's just stuff I don't even remember doing. And he still has them in his phone and tweets them once in a while, and they get a big response. So it's, I love doing the show, especially with Tiffany and Felissa, because I couldn't think of 2 better friends to do a show like this with. I feel very fortunate.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. Like, I feel like when we all decided we were going to do it, it was like, all right, like we're all such kind of strong personalities, and we all talk a lot of shit, and we're like, how's this going to work? And then it ended up just kind of working perfectly. And I was super shocked that like some of the most sensitive stuff and like open stuff came from Kane, where we were like, wait, what? Like, this is the guy who plays like the monster, is like kind of super intimidating, badass, and some of the stuff that makes everyone in our room cry is from you. Like, we're like, oh man. So I think that's like kind of what people are really digging about the show, is that everybody, like Felissa said from day one, like, I'll make fun of her because she's not here right now, but she's like, it's like an onion. We always have to peel it back and we got to be open and honest. And I was like, blah, blah. But she was totally right. That like being
That's a great impression.
as open and you know me and my impressions. Wait for me to do all of my my dialects. I try to do them on the show. They're fucking terrible. But like she was right that like that's what the fans and friends that want to listen to our show want to hear is like this real honest stuff. And we do. And like, we've probably burned some bridges occasionally too. Cause I'm like, oh yeah, working with that actor was terrible. Or, you know, let's talk about this person, but not say their name, but we're going to give you all of their letters in their name, except for one.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up, Tiff, because knowing Kane for, I think, almost close to 2 decades now, one of the wonderful things about Mr. Hodder, and I'm not trying to bring the show like to a sappy moment, but everybody approaches Kane and you think of him as Jason Voorhees or the character from Hatchet, or he always plays these horrifying, scary characters. But in real life, there are very few actors or people that you get to meet that is more sincere, is more kind with his time, and is willing to even teach young filmmakers and young actors and fans things about his craft. And he's an endearing personality, and that's why he is a horror icon. Kane, you're an awesome guy.
Thank you.
There's that word, that icon word.
Well, I mean, the icon word is thrown around a lot these days, and I think people do it for just for kindness.
Damon.
But Kane absolutely deserves to be in the icon status. There's a gentleman named Jack Hunter who wanted me to ask you this, Kane. Is there any truth to the rumor that there's going to be a Hatchet 5?
Well, I mean, I believe there is, yes. When we were doing Victor Crowley, Adam was talking about that possibility. And you remember we shot Victor Crowley in total secrecy and premiered it for an audience that thought they were going to see a rescreening of the first movie, and we surprised them with the brand new movie. But Adam has always had more stories regarding Victor Crowley in his head, so I wouldn't be at all surprised. And I love playing that character as much as I did playing Jason, so I would love to do it again and continue the franchise.
Well, I mean, Sean Smithson says there has to be a Hatchet 5, then it must be.
Yeah, exactly. I see it there.
Sean is the guy who greenlights shit, so it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Sean's the man. I feel like, why would you not continue a franchise, like especially one like that that's just kind of it's a fun, crazy slasher type flick. It's not like you're really having to follow any like superior mythology that people are going to be pissed off about. Like, you can really just change it up so much, and as long as there's fans there that are willing to watch it, like, why would you not make 50 of them?
When I saw the very first one, I mean, when Kane tore that person literally in two, I almost shit my pants. It was Kane, mistake. Sorry.
It was the best scene I've ever done as Victor.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but did you work?
Classic line. I can't remember if it was the first or second one now.
For those who don't know, Tom Holland is the wonderful writer and director of the classics Fright Night and Child's Play, and I'm like an enormous fan. Did you get to spend any time with Tom on set, Kane?
Not so much on set, because I'm always in the makeup, so I don't really sit around and hang out with the actors and stuff. But I had known Tom from before, from conventions. So, and by the way,
super nice guy.
Maybe I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say, but Adam did mention quite a while ago that if we did a Hatchet 5, that he doesn't think Victor would be in the swamp anymore.
Oh.
So that sounds interesting. I don't think he'll go to New York or
Yeah, as long as he doesn't go to Manhattan like Jason did.
or space.
You're just going to like the marsh now. It's like not all that different.
That could be an interesting idea.
All right, let's drop. Kane doesn't want anybody to know, but I know what's going on here. Victor Crowley's actually going to be in Kevin Smith's new Mallrats movie. It's about Victor going to the mall.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Victor takes New Orleans. That would be kind of awesome.
Now, have you and Kane ever actually worked on a film together?
Exit to Hell.
Sorry.
And then
Weren't
Victor
we just
Crowley.
talking about this, Madison? And Victor Crowley. Well, yes. Of course, Victor Crowley.
Well, he's asking, so.
Or wait, maybe Dave doesn't know that. I was in Victor Crowley. Dave
I don't know what. You pause.
Jesus Christ.
You pause every.
You are like, you are the best host in the
You
world.
you have that Fangoria equipment where it pauses every 15 seconds.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Snap.
Or should I say every 15 years?
Oh.
Damn.
I'm gonna exit. I don't want to get any blood on me.
So, okay,
off
Dave.
now.
Yes.
Dave, how did I kill Tiffany in Victor Crowley?
It was quite brutal.
Trick
It was
question.
Quite brutal.
Quite brutal. Oh,
Yes,
see?
yeah.
He doesn't know shit.
Yeah. He
I know
knows nothing.
exactly.
You claim to be
I know exactly
a
how you
film,
killed her.
film expert.
You tied her to her bed and you made her watch Mr. Hush repeatedly.
Nobody wants to watch that.
Oh, I would have died before he hit play. No thanks.
I didn't kill Tiffany in the movie, Dave.
Nope.
I'm sorry, I have not yet seen Victor Crowley. My apologies.
So
I saw the first Hatchet.
Way to go.
Tiffany, you could come back,
Well, I know, dude. I told Adam on the day, I was like, look, you never really see me die. After they get off the plane, I eat. Like, people could like stay underwater for like a crazy amount of time, right? And you can be dead for a crazy amount of time before somebody revives you. Isn't that true?
For sure.
So
I think it's
That
7 minutes.
also-
according to Liners.
7 minutes. I think it could be longer than that. I think we can go longer. And babies, that baby could still be alive. I mean, you don't really know how pregnant she was. She's wearing a vest. She could have been kind of far along, and you can see section. Anyway, there's a whole lot. I'm going to write it.
Okay.
We'll just make it.
Joe, have we lost Felissa altogether?
I don't know. She hasn't come back, but I hear
I
babies make
text her.
babies make great flotation devices.
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
That was just
Oh.
rude.
That's just gross.
That's like
You're disgusting.
He
Yeah,
literally
get rid of
fired
him.
himself.
wow. He's terrible. You're a terrible person.
You're a bad human. No, so
Story
we
of my
did.
life.
We not only did Victor Crowley,
Right. Go
we
ahead.
did Exit to Hell, and we also did a project that our pal, the late John Beekler, was involved in called Monster Piece Theater.
Ah.
Right.
And I feel like it was a werewolf one, maybe. I don't really remember because it never came out. So
Yeah, I
but,
think it was. Yeah.
it was a werewolf thing. So 3 projects together. Exit to Hell is great.
Yeah, I think I recall that movie. It was the couple that do the tattoo show who made that movie, correct?
Exactly.
Right. See?
No.
Wad and
No.
Tommy, Brunswick.
No, you're completely wrong.
No. I'm sorry. No. Todd and Tommy did something else. That was
Yeah, no.
no. That
That was
another
Robert
movie I did.
Conway.
Huh?
That was Robert
Right.
Conway in
Right.
Arizona.
Yes.
So you
but
guys don't even know what the hell movies you made.
This was Ben, right?
No, but you're thinking of Ben Dixon. I never made a movie with you and Ben Dixon.
Ben Dixon, and who's his wife? The beautiful blonde.
Stacy.
Stacy.
There you go. That's not who made that
Yeah,
movie.
I made a movie for Stacy and Ben Dixon, but Kane wasn't in it.
No.
That was with Gunnar Hansen and Ed Neal and I don't remember who else.
You know, it's funny. They pick on me for not knowing parts of their movies, but they don't know them themselves. That's the scary part.
I mean, you need to get guests on your shows that have done 2-3 movies. Then they don't forget shit.
They don't forget anything. They're like, on day 3, we ate this.
This is what I love. This is what is beautiful for people who watch everything on the Brigade to see. You know, I mean, this is what it's like, and you know, when you do this for a long time, like it's a gypsy life. You know, it really is, and details get lost.
It's like, well, to be perfectly frank, it's like so many of them, and I'm not saying this about the movies we just spoke about, but so many of them are the same shit over and over again. It's kind of hard to not confuse them.
Now, let me tell you, the Brunswicks that did the other movie, that was a movie called Exit 33. So that's why
which I was not in.
Right. That's why I get it mixed up with Exit to Hell, Exit 33, Exit Stage Left.
Exit to Hell was originally called Sickle.
Yes.
And you played a cop.
Named Sickle.
Named Sickle.
Sheriff Sickle. And I handcuffed Shepis to a chair and berated her.
And fed me my best friend.
Who oddly died of sickle cell disease.
But I went too far.
Where is Felissa? Felissa.
I don't. She won't even answer my call. So I don't know what happened to her. I think she got pissed off, like she thought it was all of us, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm calling her.
Unfortunately, it wasn't. I apologize.
I think it's funny that when you've been doing this as long as
we can hear it,
us have been doing it, it's like a bunch of Alzheimer's patients getting together. Like, you remember that movie? Oh.
It's sort of like when I was calling people on Casualty Friday. Nobody answered.
I hope she's not upset.
Well, it wasn't meant to.
I hope she hasn't been murdered.
Fucking Joe's fault.
That would
be. Did you say I hope she didn't get murdered?
Yeah.
Kane, just think of what that would do for the ratings.
Yeah.
Oh man! And David, if she were murdered during this time, that comment would make you'd go down.
Oh wait, she's calling back.
Jones level asshole.
You're on speaker on the show.
Oh well, I felt badly that it was crackling. I didn't want to disturb it anymore.
No, we want you back. Call back.
With earbuds.
With earbuds.
I should have just done it on my laptop. I'm so mad at myself.
Just call back. Everyone can hear you. Just call us back.
Yeah, but you guys are getting up now.
Just call right now. Call right now.
Do it.
We love you. Just call us.
Well, I don't want to bother the noise of it.
She doesn't want to bother us, guys.
Tell her to put earbuds in. Earbuds.
She just has to
Just put earbuds in.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We'll do it another time.
We'll do it another time.
Oh, we're gonna all report on this tomorrow if you don't join us.
This is the baby of the show thing I was talking about. She wants to have her own thing, so it's like I'm gonna pretend that my phone doesn't work so I can call back next Friday when Kane and I won't be available.
Why? What are you guys doing?
When are you and Kate not available?
Oh snap! That's true. It's so sad.
When are we not available? That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, I'm hanging up on her now. Well, this was a great Casualty Friday episode, you guys.
Appropriately named.
Well, maybe we don't need Felissa anymore.
Maybe we've realized it now. We've carried it without her. We killed her off on this show.
He's a third wheel.
That's it. Shit canned. You've heard it here first.
I want to ask each of you guys one more question. I'll start with Kane.
9.
Kane, out of all the films that you have worked on, which director had the biggest impact on you as far as an actor?
Well, I mean, that's a really easy answer for me because he completely changed the direction of my career, and that's John Buechler.
Okay.
Because when he fought for me to play Jason in part 7, even though Paramount was saying, I don't know if he's big enough and stuff like that, Buechler said, it's not going to matter. Trust me, he's going to do a good job. He kept fighting, even though they weren't crazy about the idea. They realized that he was correct later, but at the beginning, he really had to fight for me. And, you know, I think I talked about this on our show, that he funded a session to shoot me in the makeup and the costume and killing a couple people. He put it on film, financed the whole thing himself, just so he could go to Paramount and say, look, this is what this guy's going to look like. And that's what sold them. I didn't know till, you know, just a few years ago that he had financed that himself. I figured that Paramount let him do that, but he paid for it because he wanted to convince them that I was the right choice. And, you know, everybody knows playing that character completely changed my career for the better. I mean, I had a great career doing stunts and never expected anything beyond that, but he showed me a whole nother path I could go. And I really wish he was still around because I owe him a big part of my career.
Well, when a director goes that extra mile for an actor, it shows how much faith he had in you as a performer, and that should actually like make you feel really good. Tiff, same question for you.
Well, and just real quick, John was just such a class act too, though. Like you met him, and he always had a good thing to say about somebody. He always would talk people up. You know, I remember he was trying to do like a Kickstarter thing, and I generally, unless it was something cool, would be like, I don't want to do that. And it was like, where do you need me? What time do I have to be there? Like, he was just that kind of guy. Like, you wanted to see him continue to succeed. So it doesn't surprise me at all that he would have done that for you, Kane. You know what I mean? It's like, if he believed in you, it was like he was going to pour his heart into anything. Me, like, my career is so different that, like, you know, I never had that like giant big film that put me on like everybody's radar. So I really have like a lot to owe to different people, but right off the bat would be James Gunn and Lloyd Kaufman. You know, it was my first film. You know, I'd only done like NYU little kind of thesis projects, and they threw me into Romeo and Juliet, that crazy punk rock version of Romeo and Juliet. And that's 100% the reason why I continue to make scary movies. It was like, you know, I did that, and then they started bringing me around to conventions, and I started doing the E-Channel stuff and Cannes with them. And then next thing you know, people were like, hey, do you want to be in this Sci-Fi Channel original? Hey, do you want to be in this? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is a job? This is amazing. So I would say they had that was like, you know, the catalyst. Like I probably would have just, you know, did the responsible thing, like continued going to school and got a real job and had a career and made real money, and, you know, but instead I do this.
You know, but that's why you guys have such a plethora of loving fans, because you both have that glow. You both have that excitement still for the genre you love and for making films. Mr. Ridgely, is my crazy cohort still in the green room? Scott's not there?
Well, he's well, wait a moment. He ran awfully quick.
At this point of the show, Tiff, as you know, I love to bring my crazy cohort. My friend from the motion picture Clerks, Mr. Scott Schiaffo, always chimes in towards the end. Is Scott available?
Hey! Scared me. Take that horrible makeup off. That is crazy looking.
Put it back on. Put it back on.
How you doing, folks?
Good.
What's up, Scott?
Scott, I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good here in New Jersey. We're hanging on in this COVID mess.
Yep.
You got the whole like homeless guy look, Scott. I like it.
Well, it is for a role. I'm playing homeless Mikey in the Deep State web series.
Oh, okay. That's the great thing about an actor. When you look like shit, you could always come up with some bullshit answer like, I'm doing it for a role.
Yeah.
I smell like a homeless guy because I'm doing it for a role.
Little jaundice also. Jaundice kind of.
Well, that's the lighting.
Horrible lighting in my man cave. There's nothing I can do about it.
Well, yeah, there are things you could do about it. You can light candles. You could get a flashlight. You could string up some Christmas.
Get a ring light
there's
like
plenty.
Shepis has. Get one of those ring lights.
Hey, I do. Hey, look. Oh shit! It's all plugged in. I would have showed you.
Oh, I knew it. It looks great, though. See?
Thank you.
So, Scott, tell us about this role you're playing. Was it for Tom Zanker? Is it for a television show?
He's doing it's a web series. He's actually he decided to just launch it on YouTube.
Sweet.
Yeah, Bill Servino is one of the leads. It's a conspiracy theory thing. God, it's really if you follow the deep state conspiracy theories, but it's up to date.
Yeah, fucking crazy people.
Right? Yeah, it's I'll tell you, I'm not gonna be able to do it justice. If folks can go over, it's easy to find the Deep State web series. We're up to about episode 5 or so. I'm also doing the score. I've worked with Tom on a number of films over the years, but I play a character named Homeless Mikey, who's sort of like an idiot savant, more or less.
Sweet. Cool. I wasn't going to say typecasting because I love you too much.
Sorry, I am absolutely terrified of the conspiracy theorists, like QAnon, like that whole thing is so crazy to me. And I've only just recently found out about it, and maybe I shouldn't even talk about it. That's how creeped out I am by those people and all the beliefs.
I'm right there with you. I'm not a fan of because it's a lot of madness, and the political climate was so insane before COVID that now it's I don't know who to believe, what to think. It's a really crazy time we're in. But Tom Zank is a really fine writer and director, and he pretty much had it was his brainchild back in last fall. We began shooting, and then basically a lot of what was coming out in the news fed the storyline. So it's been exciting. It's an exciting series, very different for me. Homeless Mikey's not a main character, but the ensemble is really powerful, and I really do enjoy doing the music.
Awesome.
Nice.
I am going to take over if there's going to be dead air, David Lee Madison.
I wanted that to happen for a second. That was great.
Freaking...
We lost Miss Rose completely?
Yes, we did.
We booted her out for you.
Oh no, you can get her back. You don't need me.
No, something happened with her phone. It kept.
Oh, she's got technical difficulties?
Well, yeah, Scott, can you loan her some earbuds?
I could, if I could do it virtually, I would.
So you know what's actually the greatest? There are a lot of things about what's going on with the current situation that we're all living in that are actually good. Stuff like this. A lot of people are doing things to entertain folks from their homes, and a lot of people are allowing themselves to show their creativity. Are any of you guys doing anything creative that you would not have been doing if the world was in a regular space?
Well, I think I told you guys when I was on the show the last time that my husband and kids were making a short together, and they still are, and it's become quite the I'm not gonna give anything away about it, but it was it started out as a fun family thing, and I think it's very serious now, where the kids are like, we don't want to make this movie sucks. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but we are doing that, and that's somewhat creative. We painted our house, not this room. This room's ugly. I guess that's kind of it. I don't know. What about you, Kane? What are you doing that's creative?
Well, you know, I just want to make sure I credit the right people. I'm just looking at something real quick. Let's see here. Sorry. Of course,
Dead
I
air.
can't read it. Dead air. I know.
Kane.
Yes.
My last name is pronounced Ridgely.
Yes. Yes, I know that.
Well, one kind of creative thing that like we've all, like me, Felissa, and Kane have been working on is getting the Casualty Friday kind of quarantine podcast going. And the reason why it's taken longer than it should is because we do like having the two-part component, like the podcast, and having like the episodes be podcast quality and be able to have the live video stuff. So I've been working on that and just kind of figuring out what guests we're going to have. And like, I've just recently confirmed one that's really, really cool. So that's exciting.
Can you tell us who the guest is?
No, you don't even watch our movies, Dave, but I will email George and Joe.
I do watch your
I was going to
movies.
say, Tiffany, George and Joe watch them. So.
I tell you, Tiff, whenever I have insomnia and can't sleep, I put on one of your movies.
So what I was looking for was, Tiff, you know who Jason Hignite is, right?
Yeah.
The kid from Horror Hound.
Yeah. He was helping run a thing where it was a short film competition where people, you know, because of the quarantine, wrote and directed short films and submitted them to see who, you know, might win a prize and stuff. And I was one of the judges. And they went through all the films and then picked out the final 12. And I watched all of them today, and I was really pleasantly surprised at some of the quality of these things. You know, shot on iPhones very often, but then they scored music for it and had makeup effects and everything. And it was really well done. And I was just amazed at some of the quality. It's for Sinister Nights, is doing the competition. So I think myself and Berryman and Linnea and maybe a couple other judges are part of it, but it was really a lot of fun to watch these things. Very, very clever comedy involved, because like, you know, Adam Green found out there's nothing wrong with having comedy in a horror film. It, you know, as long as it isn't at the expense of the scary parts, there's nothing wrong with it. So it was really a lot of fun.
Sweet.
That's awesome. What's the festival called, or what is it called?
Sinister Nights is the, I guess, the organization or the website or something. It's Sinister Nights. I'm not sure if people can find it, but it was just that competition. So
that's cool.
Very cool.
That's awesome, because like I'm sure people. One, like phones have great cameras, like, and people like just getting creative with the stuff that they have in their house, and the fact that you can go online and just find out how to edit something or use, you know, there's so many free music scores out there, or really, really cheap. I think there's kind of no reason why you shouldn't try to make things if that's the passion you have. Heidi Martinuzzi from Etheria Film Festival, we all know her. She just asked me to be a judge for them. And I was super excited, not just to be a judge for them, but because I was like, yes, movies that I haven't seen. It's like, I feel like I'm going to judge them so freely because I'm so fucking, like, we're all just watching the same stuff over and over again on Netflix. So like, these are amazing. Speaking of that, is anyone watching anything great right now on Netflix?
No, I tried to give Picard a chance. I loved the pilot episode. It's not on Netflix. It's on CBS All Access. I loved the first episode of Picard, and then everything after it, I literally wanted to pour bleach on my eyes. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the show Billions. Do you guys watch Billions?
Of course, absolutely, great show.
No,
I
very, very good show.
I need to watch that one.
And Tiffany suggested that I watch a kind of a mini series, and turned out to be better than I expected, but she's a big fan of it. It was Tiger King.
Oh, yes.
Joe Exotic. she's a huge fan of his in particular, and
We discussed this. I am a don't F with cats fan, not Joe Exotic.
Don't F with Cats was an actual good.
I know.
series.
I know. It's so sad, and like I don't know why I keep like kind of touting it like it's great and fun because it's so awful and terrible, but it's just so weird. We've been just started watching that Hollywood.
Yeah, we had binged that whole thing. That was great.
Is it? I'm a couple
It's
of.
pretty good. I mean, it's like it's definitely you feel the even though it's in a different era, you feel the like gut wrench of like the actor side of it, the writer, the producer side that you're just like, oh God, this town blows in so many ways, but it's also so great in so many others. And there's like a ton of sex, so that's always fun.
And
but yeah.
I've been watching one also with my wife. I believe it's called Defending Jacob. You know that one?
Is that on Netflix?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
It's just a young kid that gets accused of murder and the whole process of...
Oh, I think I saw a trailer for that.
It's really well done. So that's what I'm watching too. Along with The Last Dance, of course. Got to watch that.
Yeah, it's funny because the quarantine has turned me into a total wuss. For some bizarre reason, I have been hooked, absolutely hooked on watching the Waltons every night on the Hallmark Channel. I watch the Waltons from 10 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning every freaking night like a mental patient. I'm there wondering what the hell's going to happen with John Boy.
Very weird.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? What the hell happened to me?
This is very weird, and I think we should just go now.
Disappointing.
I'm sorry if you guys were just made a little uncomfortable here.
It's disappointing, Dave.
Yeah.
Did you ever used to watch any of the, or do you watch now in reruns any of the series I used to do stunts on?
What series is that?
Like Dukes of Hazzard, The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Wonder Woman, I did.
Wonder Woman. You told me a great story about Wonder Woman.
That was the first job I got after I got burned.
I know.
First stunt job.
Did you ever do any films as stuntmen with Brad Larray?
I know Brad, but I don't think. It seems like we did, but I can't remember.
Because
I'd have to go on IMDb Pro and check.
No, I was just curious because Brad's a dear friend of mine. And I was curious if he was a good stuntman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'll tell you who isn't. You asked me a question about a stunt person because you started me on this now, Dave. I am so sick of fucking young people that do wire work and martial arts and suddenly they're fucking calling themselves a stuntman.
Damn.
Because you do fucking wire work and martial arts doesn't make you a stuntman. Sorry. I'll ask them. They'll say, I'm a stuntman. Yeah. Do you do fire? No. Car flips? No. High falls? No. But you're a stuntman. Pisses me off.
It's funny, Kane, that you should mention that because in my film, Mr. Hush, both Steve Dash and Brad Larray are in the motion picture.
Right.
And they both claim to be the most...
picture.
They're both...
Nice.
Oh my
God. This coming from somebody whose last movie came out only on Viewmaster. We're both
I don't even know what that is.
We're both in my
flip book.
In my Viewmaster movie. And every time anything was required of a stuntman, the two of them would argue on who would do the stunts. I was like, in this scene, we have to cut a pie. Dash would be like, you son of a bitch, I'm going to cut the pie. I was like, it's cutting a pie, Dash.
Yeah.
Rest his soul. He was a wonderful, wonderful human being.
The best stuntman that ever played the Jason character is Ted White, though. Mm-hmm. He's a legend. He's a legitimate, real stunt guy that doesn't pretend to be because he does one fucking aspect of stunts. I'm so sick of people. I fucking hate them. I'm gonna go.
Well, on that note,
no, wait a minute. I got a question for Kane.
Yeah,
Kane,
is it gonna piss me off too?
I would like to.
Wait, did you say what? I heard something else.
I may have also.
It's time for me to go.
So, Kane, your shirt, I'm familiar with that. When are you guys getting your own show?
We've talked about it before. I think it would be a brilliant idea because
absolutely,
some of the ghost hunting shows, it's the same old thing. But if you get people that are known for scaring people going out there and looking for ghosts, it's a whole different deal, and I'd like to see somebody like RA run screaming like a bitch from some spirit. Somebody like that, but it's a very unique group of people that go ghost hunting, so I think it would do very well. I just people maybe think that we're not serious investigators, but some of us are.
Well, you guys have traveled and you've done it, so.
We've done almost every major famous location, that you can think of. We've been there. And my buddy Rick and I founded the group, Rick McCullum, and we've been working together since, Lone Wolf McQuaid, whenever that was. I think that was in the
1942.
Early 80s. Yeah, Lone Wolf McQuaid. I found a picture of myself from that movie with David Carradine. And man, I look young.
That was right between those two Marx Brothers movies you did.
They were silent films.
Wait, what was the talk before the talkies? What was it called?
The silent films.
Kane, I just recently saw your documentary. That was fabulous, really touching.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's gotten a really good response, so I'm happy about that.
Scott, is that available somewhere where people could easily find it?
Well, somebody had given me their copy.
Right.
I believe it's on Shudder.
Oh, it's on
Shudder. I
Shudder.
don't know what streaming service would have it. Oh man, maybe
everywhere.
Amazon Prime.
It's on Shudder. Yeah.
It's everywhere and available for rent.
Yeah, it's around.
And Derek did a great job.
Yeah, I was very happy with what he did, and he's a very good filmmaker. And I recently told him I came up with some stuff when I was cleaning out my garage, because I don't know if I told you. I think Tiffany knows, but I built a house up in Utah, and I think I'm going to eventually sell this house. It's in Calabasas, and with our work anymore, we don't have to live in LA. So I may end up in Park City, Utah for good. So point being, I was cleaning out my garage because I've been here 24 years. There's a lot of shit collected in that garage, and I came across some things that I didn't even remember ever having. Screen worn stuff from different movies and things that people gave me on the set and pictures, and it was an amazing experience just to go through my garage.
And again, I'm going to bring up that, an old show of mine, Kane was a guest on, and in his garage, fan-made art was there, and it just spectacular.
Still is. I still have
fan-made art is amazing.
Oh, sometimes it's incredible.
So, well, I think we talked about this on Casualty Friday, that sometimes the ones that aren't as great are our favorites, or Kane's especially. but next time I'm on the show, I will take the everything with me, and I'll show you. I have like a wall of some of my favorites that people have drawn of me, and some are super weird, and some are super great, and some are not so great. I feel like the ones that aren't as great get the better frames. Like they're definitely in more coveted spots.
Well, you know that it's just a sign that somebody who really appreciates your work, and no matter how good or bad it is, it's always done from the right place. So it's always wonderful.
Right.
For sure.
Yep. Hey, George, how are you?
I'm great.
You've been awfully quiet lately.
I got stuck way back in the beginning when these guys were talking about how much they liked doing the show together because they all liked each other, and I just thought, man, that must be nice.
Oh, you walked right into that.
Oh.
Woo! Drop the mic, George, and turn it all off right now. You won.
Damn. I will produce no more.
All right, I'm going to get Dallas on the phone.
Hey, Tiffany, are you on Cameo?
What?
Tiffany, are you on Cameo?
No, I never did it. Is it great?
I mean, you know, they make it so easy, but it's so much more rewarding than you would expect. When you do,
I probably get an email every week.
Yeah, when you do a personalized video for someone and they end up crying and send you a review and tell you what happened because they were such a big fan, it's so amazingly gratifying. That's, you know, the money aside, but it's just, I wish I had thought of the idea.
Yeah,
I was on Cameo's video Word Up, but that's pretty much all I've done.
I've been having fun doing them lately. I don't do a bunch of them, but when I get them, they're super nice, and they're always the nicest requests that people send in, and they always send in like a little something extra that's personal about them when they book a cameo, and it's really cool. It's
and if you think about it, if you're a big fan of somebody, and one day you look at your phone and you have a personalized video message from that person talking to you, that could be huge.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's on that site now.
You know, it's funny. I get requests.
I
get requests all the time, but it's usually the supersized things.
Bum, bum, bum. That went over great, baby.
Yeah, that was really good. Everybody laughed a lot. It's in the chat. You're really funny.
You're doing stand up now?
I'm doing sit down at the moment.
And
all right, I'm leaving. I'm done.
Wait, before you go, Dave, is there going to be a Mr. Douche 3? Is that what it was? Mr. Douche.
Oh my God.
Dave, like only if you star in it.
I'm available.
That's the scary part.
By the way,
I'll be the douchette.
I don't know if he's still watching, but Kane, I am actively putting together Killing Greco.
Oh yes,
it's gonna happen.
Oh, I hope so.
It's gonna happen. So Kane came on the DEFCON 1 and said that he always wanted to kill Richard Grieco in a movie.
Who doesn't?
Oh, there you go.
So I'm putting together Killing Greco.
Lance
Can
says
it be
Uncle
like
Scott
a choose your own adventure where all of us get to come in and kill him, and it's like you get to pick what horror actor kills Grieco in what way?
This is a personal thing. Kane said he always wanted to kill Richard Grieco in a movie. It's a personal thing.
Yep.
All right, fine. You guys go ahead and make your little love movie.
Look, that doesn't mean
there's
not room for everybody. You know that.
Jump on in.
Look at Ridgely.
Well, at this point, this show has become literally a train wreck.
All
and
right.
I'm going to ask first the most lovely Miss Tiffany Shepis.
Oh.
Miss Shepis, where can people find you, or do you have any future?
Apparently, pretty soon on Cameo.
Yes.
Because I always jump really in way late to the game. Casualty Friday 100%, which is on the Fangoria podcast network and Google Play or wherever you listen to podcast stuff, or on YouTube. Otherwise, Instagram and Twitter will tell you all the crap that's going on. And in the new Killing Greco movie.
Sweet.
Whoa, wait a minute. Nobody wants to see that. What the fuck happened?
Tiffany, you look weird.
Right?
I'm looking Quarantine 20.
Tiffany, you need a shave desperately.
Good God.
I feel infected now.
I feel infected. What the hell?
Fuck me.
You are infected.
Mr. Hodder.
Yes.
Where can your fans find you? And
Of course, Casualty Friday. We love doing it. I finally put up a store, I guess, if you want to say, on kanehodder.com if people want to go there. And I've been finally tweeting more because in the past few years, have tweeted almost nothing. So now I'm starting to get the hang of that and, put myself out there a little bit. I tweeted a picture of a lemon I picked off of my tree in the backyard. And I said something about I didn't know a lemon tree could be possessed by demons. But you need to look at that picture. And that's not anything I put together. That was a lemon the way it came off the tree. And it is fucked up.
All right.
But yeah, and then I know Felissa's not here, but I will speak for her, but she's always on, like, obviously the Casualty Friday stuff. And I think she does like Instagram lives, I want to say once a week, but she's super active on Instagram and Twitter and whatever. And, just Casualty Friday, man.
And Mr. Schiaffo, do we have anything that we should be looking for from you?
Well, I got a major plug in for that web series, The Deep State. You can find that on YouTube, The Deep State. Darkness Waits is a film I worked on. I'm very happy with the Blu-ray that just recently came out, Darkness Waits. My Audible book is still in the process of getting quality controlled by the good people at Audible, but the Audible book should be dropping within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Scott Meany, the artist, is doing artwork for the disc version of that. The guy who did the artwork for the book. So, and I'm not hard to get a hold of. I'm all over the place on social media. So thank you.
With that being said, all kidding aside, thank you, Kane, Tiffany, Scott, for being dear friends and showing up on the show tonight. You guys are all awesome. You're all icons in your own right. You're all super talented. And thank you again for joining us tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you guys. This is cool.
Stay safe,
Right.
everybody.
Bye.
Everybody be safe, be well, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to put Kane on the spot and
Okay.
we'll watch him sign off.
Yeah. Let's see. Leave studio.
And I knew he was going to do that, by the way.
That was an unbelievable show.
It was awesome.
Yes.
I can't stop.
Yeah. No. What a fun night. I think sometimes it's better when things don't go quite to plan. There's an organic nature that I think comes with this stuff. And, that's what happened. That's what made DEF CON 1 so special. And that's what makes a lot of the episodes, really great and makes all of the Brigade, I think. It adds to everybody's experience, I just think it went great. Everything gets handled well, even when stuff glitches, and you guys are fucking awesome.
I agree. I think you guys are awesome.
Joe.
Joe.
We're fishing. Can you compliment us, please?
You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You said that you couldn't say that with any less sincerity.
Well, no, but you guys won't smile. Yeah.
I am smiling.
We can't tell Grandpa.
I actually felt bad that we lost Felissa.
Yeah.
Well, I agree, and it was unfortunate. And I kind of feel guilty because I feel bad if she thought that we were. I don't know what the proper term is, like
screwing around with her, messing with her.
Yeah. It was literally just needed some earbuds and
No, I think she understands that it was not that. It was just sadly her connection was really making it difficult to speak over. So next week, on the end of the night, I have a pretty cool announcement. One of the founding members of one of the biggest rock and roll bands of all time, a band that sold over 50 million records worldwide. One of the founding members of Huey Lewis and the News. It's not Huey this time, but the drummer Bill Gibson. Bill Gibson, who is one of the founding members and wrote some of the classic songs like Heart of Rock and Roll, I Want a New Drug, Power of Love, all the enormous classics, will be joining us next Friday night and come and join us and Bill. He's an awesome guy. And I mean, he was part of We Are the World. I mean, think of that for a minute.
Right.
So, and I might have another guest who is joining us next Friday that I will announce on Monday or Tuesday, in addition to Bill Gibson.
Evil Ed.
No, Evil Ed is actually not going to come on until June because he's at a retreat. He's a paralegal, believe it or not. And he's at a retreat where they are off doing some kind of retreat.
Fair enough.
I don't know what that means. But he told me he would come on. And Mr. Jeffries is a man of his word.
Well, Sean is asking Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper? Okay.
Alice
Cooper wrote The Heart of Rock and Roll, Power of Love.
And we got a Gibson. Wow. All right. On that note, wow. I love everybody everybody affiliated. This is great. George, you and I should probably bow out and let him do a closing. What do you think?
Sure, man. Sounds good.
By the way, thank you very much for joining me tonight, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks for letting us stick around. It was super fun. I just was, when you get those guys rolling, it's so much fun to just sit back and listen and watch them.
No, I mean, it must be great because they love to abuse the shit out of me. So you guys must have really had a blast with that. I want to thank my comrades and dear friends for getting my back. Of course, you did an amazing job.
They weren't blaming. No, Kane said, "Fuck you." No, never mind.
He did say "fuck you, Joe," which was pretty epic.
I don't know how I feel.
At least they admit to knowing me for a long time. I guess that's kind of a bonus.
Clearly with the relationships, there's a lot of love and respect. So I just thought it was super funny, and I think that the history shows, and I think the whole thing showed.
You know what? I'm going to have to owe Kane a big debt of gratitude because I'm literally going to make a movie called Mr. Douche 3 now. It's an amazing idea. You know, it's funny. They make fun of me, and then they ask me to be in my movies. I just don't get it.
That's awesome.
All right, David. Well, great show tonight, buddy. And I will catch you. I don't know if we're going to do the after show or anything, but I'll catch you later, brother. Have a great night.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, Mr. Romero.
All right. So I am going to bow out. I'm going to let you do your. Well, I'm kind of concerned because you haven't been able to do it properly for like the past 3 shows.
I haven't done it properly in any of like the 10 shows we've done. So
okay, so I'm gonna bow out. I'm gonna have your ending. So
I want to thank everybody who stopped and watched this train wreck tonight. It was my pleasure to present this mess of a show to you. I hope that you were mildly entertained. I hope that you're safe and you're well. And remember, no man without friends. Wait, man, what is the freaking line? Hold on, just give me a second. It's hot here. Do you know the line, Joe? All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to watch the last 5 minutes of It's a Wonderful Life tonight. And it's what the angel writes to George Bailey. I think a man with friends is always rich or something to that effect. Peace out, everybody. I'll see you on next Friday.